It wasn't long after a benevolent man took me in off the streets. 1 week later, I was pouring his tea in a 5-room hotel suite.
Yes, you were.
A John the King, a congressman, and an occasional aristocrat. Then I got me a Georgia mansion and an elegant New York townhouse flat.
Ain't bad.
In this world, there's a lot of self-righteous hypocrites that call me bad. They criticize mama for turning me out, no matter how little it is. But no, I ain't had to worry about nothing for now, 15 years. I can still hear the desperation in my poor mama's voice ringing in my ear. Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. Oh, here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you walk out, well, it's up to you. But don't let me down now. Your mama's gonna move you uptown. Oh, and I guess she did. R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T, take care of TC. Oh, yeah. What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I want you to do for me is show me some respect when you get home. And baby, what's given to me, let me start. I ain't gonna do you wrong, I ain't gonna do you wrong, 'cause I don't wanna. All I want you to do for me is show me some respect when you get home. And baby, don't give it to me, let me start. I'm up to giving all my money, all I'm asking in return, honey, is to give me my problems when you get home. Hey, baby, don't give it to me, let me start now. Ooh, kisses, sweeter than honey. Guess what? So here's my money. All I want you to do for me is show me some respect when you get home. Hey, baby, just give it to me. Let me start now. R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T, take care of TC. R-E-S-P-C-T, a little respect. Hey, baby, all the time you keep on trying. Round two, I ain't lying. Respect. Hey, baby, respect. And honey, oh, I got to have a little respect.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Audio Roast Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Isaacs. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. This green screen thing's being kind of weird. There we go. Kind of, maybe. Who knows? You know, whatever. So we are streaming on Facebook right now. So be sure to like this video, give it a share and a like. Tag some friends, comments along with us throughout the day. And it's going to be a fun, interactive experience for everybody. You can also watch us on YouTube. So if you're checking us out over there, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you get notified when we go live from here on out. Also, if it's your thing, we also stream on Twitch. So, you know, check it out over there. Something different. You can also get audio-only versions of what we're doing right here by checking us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever podcasts are available to you. Also, we encourage you to consider becoming a Patreon member. Just visit patreon.com/The Audio Roast Podcast and consider becoming a monthly member. There you can find special bonus content and early access to shows and upcoming events. Your support allows us to keep doing what we're doing right here each and every week, so it means a lot, and that's the best way to support us is by our Patreon. So please do check it out if you haven't yet. We've got a lot of big stuff coming down the pike for our Patreon channel, so get on board now. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist. Our playlists are normally available at the end of every episode, or most episodes. Today's playlist, however, is already available. So if you'd like to listen and follow along with us, if you have maybe a second device or something that you can play the music through, you can do so by going to Spotify or iTunes and search for the Audio Roast Podcast, and you'll find our playlist featured on today's show, as well as episodes from the past. So again, Audio Roast Podcast is where you can find playlists. If it's too much to search for, if you want a one-stop shop, you can check out our new website. Still has that brand new website smell to it, at audioroast.com, and there's direct links to all the podcast episodes from the past, and as well as playlists, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we got for the audioroast.com. Now then, to recap last week, we did a British invasion show, and we had Neil Gom from London Calling here with us, which was a real treat. It was really cool to have somebody outside of the music community join us here for some music fun and trivia. So it was a great time. We also had Adam Webster from Branson's British invasion show, and he is the John Lennon impersonator there. And honestly, it was great to meet him. I think it was a great show. Everybody had good chemistry. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet and you missed out, go back and check it out. It's good stuff. In 2 weeks, we are going to be debuting our live show right here downstairs at the Riff. That's Sunday, April 11th at 5 p.m. We will not be live streaming that. So there will be no show on Facebook or YouTube in 2 weeks. If you want to see the show, which you should, it'll just be downstairs at the Riff. It's a $5 cover. You can either get your tickets in advance or at the door. Either way, whatever's easiest for you. We've still got plenty of tables to reserve, so just message me if you'd like to reserve a table once you've got your ticket spot, and we'll set you all up. It's going to be a really great all-star lineup. We've got members from Dirty Saints, members from Machine Gun Symphony, members only, all kinds of different bands that are going to be involved. So it's going to be a who's who, and you do not want to miss this. So, and it'll be all new games. Nothing that you get to see because you don't have to deal with copyrights. So that'll be fun. Also, we will have prizes and giveaways for you. So I'm telling you, you need to attend this. This will be a lot of fun. And DJP will be ending the night for a 80s themed dance party. So Deborah Klein asked me this week, are you encouraging people to dress up in the 80s? And I'm like, always. So yes, that's a yes. So that's what we got in 2 weeks. But today, however, we're doing something that everybody seems to love a lot, and that is classic album Clash. This is our 5th one and our first one that we've done for country music. So why not start at the top, right? Reba McEntire, we're doing 2 of her albums. The 1991 album, the name of it is For My Broken Heart, and the 94 album, Read My Mind. So 2 really good albums with a lot of big hits on it, a lot of singles. So it's going to be interesting to talk about them and see how it all shakes out and which album is ultimately going to be deemed the better of the 2 albums. So Chelsey James is joining us today here in the studio, as well as Jonna Volz. And Jonna might look familiar to some of you people. Believe it or not, she was actually Young Fancy in the Fancy video for Reba McEntire. So, just a little song she did in her career somewhere. Not a big deal. So we're happy to have both of those ladies here with us today. So now then, on to our favorite song. Our favorite part of the show is 7 songs in 7 days. Yeah, I was waiting for Joshua to sing this week, I guess. That's what I was doing. So this is where we take, you're probably muted. So this is where we take your suggestions from last week and give them a listen over the last week and rank them just because it's something fun to do. So coming in at the number 7 spot, we had from Caitlin Logan, You Fucking Did It by Jason Mraz. I'm a fan of Jason Mraz, actually, but this song just kind of So in the number 6 position from CJ Garmo is I by Kendrick Lamar. I'll totally be transparent. I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan. Couldn't name a single song of his, but this song actually had a really good message. Musically, it was all right, but I enjoyed the lyrics and stuff, so it gets to the number 6 spot. And the number 5 spot, Julia Leigh Cobb gave us Kick by NXS, a classic 80s and early 90s kind of sound, so good stuff there. Chris Snyder, for the second week in a row, came in at number 4 with Dirty Love by Thunder. Again, so just this year is whenever, because of you guys, by the way, whenever I discovered the band Thunder, and it's good stuff. If you're a fan of hair bands and hair metal and that kind of stuff, check them out. It's really good stuff. Speaking of hair metal, Elkie Caswell Bradford gave us Rock You Like a Hurricane by the Scorpions, which slid in at number 3. And at the number 2 spot, Deborah Klein sent the Dead Daisies Holy Ground. Holy Cow is more like it. What a great song, great band, an absolute all-star lineup. I don't know what rock I've been sleeping under, but that was the first time I've heard the Dead Daisies, and I am super intrigued to hear more from them. Really enjoyed them a lot. However, at the number 1 position, and what's really funny is you guys sent these in without even knowing for sure what we were doing this week. So the irony is insane. But at the number 1 position, Kim Garmery gave us Jolene by Dolly Parton. So there you go. We have all the females in country hierarchy being represented today. So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Now is the time to go ahead and nominate your picks with any song from any genre, any style, or any decade. Just make it a song. And we'll take the next 7 days, give it a listen, give it a rank, because we can. So go ahead. Now then, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break and get to know our guests. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. So stick around.
Hey musicians, do your shows need that extra layer of fun and excitement? Wow your fans with next level production and let Sunset Productions help you up your game. We can create custom and unique sound, lighting, and video packages designed just for you and your budget. Let's work together and give our community the shows they deserve. For more information, contact Jared Isaacs at sunsetproductionsspringfield@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Sunset Productions. Sunset Productions. Don't be a jukebox. Be an experience.
Let me go. Oh yeah, we are gonna go to the top indeed. So, this is gonna go because this is already getting too hot. So there's that. Yeehaw. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into things here and kick the show off. All right, so we're going to find out what's in our mugs. Yes, indeed. We're drinking some good old Barracuda Bite here from Classic Rock Coffee. Joshua, why don't you tell the fine folks at home what all it's all about.
Barracuda Bite is a medium roast with blueberry, because I can taste it, bergamot, and floral notes.
Ooh, gotta love the floral notes. Hey Josh, I'm gonna put you right on the spot. Tell us a little bit about that bergamot.
That bergamot, to me, it sounds like a last name. Johnny Bergamot.
Yes. Johnny has been ground up
Johnny
and he is in
Bergamot,
the coffee. It is indeed a medium to dark roast.
If you're feeling cannibalish,
wow,
try the Barracuda Bite, because barracudas like the bite.
That they do.
I have no idea what bergamot is, other than it is some sort of
it's like a spice kind of thing.
Spice, yeah,
something like that.
Right.
All right. Now then,
yes.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh,
let us
go to the comments. All right. Well done. It's like we got a show.
I think I've seen this before.
Right. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Everybody seems to be doing well. Elkie says hello. It was good to see everyone last night.
Elkie.
Last night was a blast, man. It was a great show with the Dirty Saints here at the Riff, and it was so nice to be able to see some of you familiar faces out there. Good stuff. Also, speaking of good stuff, Stephanie says, cool to finally meet you, Elkie. So yes, what are the odds we'd be sitting right next to each other? Great to finally meet you. Yeah. So see, and that's what I love about doing the show, man, is it's really, it's bringing circles of people together that maybe their paths wouldn't have crossed before. So I really love that more than I can even say. Chris says, you're really outstanding in your field, Jared. See what I did there? I do. I do. Minus, the field was had some static in it or something. I think it needed to be,
that was that Monsanto grass
raked.
That's got that radiation going on in it.
Pretty much. That was a chemtrail.
Yes.
So, all right. So Stephanie says,
they're giving us.
Can't wait for the live show. Me neither. I've been working so much on that behind the scenes. I've got so many notes and little things. There's a lot to put into it because I'm making it fun and very, very interactive. We're going to be pulling people from the audience up on stage to help some of the guys in the band. It's going to be a great time. So I really encourage you, get outside of your box a little bit and let's do something a little bit different and see how it all crumbles.
There's going to be some surprises too.
And by crumbles, I mean, how we do here on the show. There's going to be something go wrong.
That's right.
I just got to accept it and plan for it.
Yeah.
What would you say?
We're going to have some surprises too.
We are going to have some surprises.
Some things that we found out about that we might surprise our
very
faithful
excited.
Listeners.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, if you're a longtime listener to the show, there's going to be some throwback material. So do check it out. All right, so we've got our #7s.
All right.
Julia Leigh Cobb says #7. We are golden by Micah. Sharon Cooper says, my kind of music, country. Thanks for doing this program. Absolutely. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if I've seen you on here before or not, but if not, thank you for joining us. And thanks so much for checking us out. Hopefully you'll stay for the show and see how it all shakes out at the end. Caitlin Logan says, boo, boo. She didn't like the fact that hers didn't rank too high. Yeah. So again, I like Jason Mraz. Send me another Jason Mraz song.
I thought it was a great song. I thought it was much better than Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
Okay. They both had they dropped F-bombs in it, but I thought Jason Mraz did it in a more clever way rather than, just saying F-bombs for the sake of saying the F-bombs.
Yeah,
I think his use of it was a little more palatable.
Yeah, I could totally understand that. I just
enjoyed. And he scatted in it. Come on.
Well, I mean, you're not.
How often do you get scats? I'm not in your personal life.
All right. Sorry, Caitlin. Swing and you miss. Better luck next time. Christy says #7 10 years by Fix Me. Lisa says, okay, wait. So we can do a show on Branson music, but not Broadway. Oh, Jared, I thought you loved me.
Oh, we got plans.
Well, the Beatles never. Well, I mean, maybe they played in Branson. I'm not going to go that far, but no, it was not a Branson music show. It was a British music show. But Broadway will be coming soon. So I'll be honest. I said we need to do a Broadway. So Joshua, he said, you know what? I think you're right. And I said, good, because you're doing it. So I've left him in charge of wrangling talent.
Well,
how about that?
I've got some feelers out.
There you go.
Some big feelers.
There you go. Elkie said, well, never mind.
Well,
Elkie says #7 Soundgarden Black Hole Sun.
Elkie.
All right. Kim Garmery says #7. Oh, Lord, here we go with the names. Nessun Dorma by Luciano Pavarotti. Isn't it funny how I can get that just fine, but not the name of the song?
That's
Dorma?
Uh-huh. As in like a dorm room with an A. Cindy says, my favorite 10 Years song. Which one is? Did I miss? Oh, gotcha. By Fix Me. Gotcha. All right. Chris Hankins says, #7, Guitar Slinger by Crossing Dixon.
Guitar Slinger?
Yes. Brian Betancourt says, #7, Sound of Silence by Disturbed.
Okay. Wait a sec. Okay, on the Guitar Slinger, who did that one?
That was Chris Hankins.
I know. But
Crossing Dixon.
Crossing Dixon?
Mm-hmm. I know it sounds like I'm making these up, but I'm not.
That must be a country song.
Must be.
All right, what was after that one?
Chris Schneider with Louder by Brittany Fox.
Brittany Fox.
Yeah. Chris Schneider is always a good go-to for our 80s metal. He's a big fan. Somebody ought to, be in a hair band with him.
Yeah, like Sunset Strip.
Right. Never heard of them. Brian says, great light show. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Like I said before the show started, I had spent a lot, and I talked to Josh about this because, in full transparency, as per usual, even today, I was still trying to get some of the last little bits of the show together and listening to a few more songs. And Josh walked in and he goes, "You still haven't listened to this?" I'm like, if you only knew how busy my week was. I rehung some lights here at the Riff and stuff, which took me a few days.
Excuses. If it were a priority, you would make time.
Which is why the lights look great.
Yeah.
All right. Liz Deck is here. She says, hey, how's it going, Liz? Thanks for joining us. Christy Pressler says, band is 10 years. Song Fix Me, just for clarification purposes.
Got it.
Lisa says, hey,
we didn't
Joshua.
think it took 10 years to fix you, Christy.
Hey, Joshua, I'm doing the Broadway show. And by the way, bring me a bunch of Kleenex for Saturday afternoon. What is happening Saturday afternoon?
It doesn't.
I'm not sure.
Who's doing that? Oh, okay. That's her final performance with her kids.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my daughter's doing backstage stuff, and it's gonna be an emotional thing.
Yeah, that'll be sad, man.
Yeah, but she's
End of an era.
Bigger, better things, spending more time with her husband, which I don't know is a bigger or better thing.
Yeah,
but it is a thing.
Hey, at least there's wine.
Yeah, that'll get her through the next few years.
That's right. All right. So Michael says, right on, Brian. Jerry put on a great light show. Thanks. I appreciate that very much. All right. Tyler says, entertain me. Are you not entertained? I don't know. I got nothing.
We still need one more 7.
We need one more. Hey, Tyler, hit us up with the #7. We need one more to fill us out here so we can carry on with this little show, and so I can entertain you. Until then, we'll just sit in awkward silence. Okay, I can't take it. Let's see here, Joshua. You have a show coming up. Why don't you go ahead and do a little plug? I do have
a show coming up April 1st. We're playing at the Hard Rock,
and it's for real. It's not an April Fool's joke.
It's not a joke. No joke, man. It's Identity Crisis at the Hard Rock, April 1st. That's a Thursday.
There you go.
So I guess new band. They're not going to give us a Friday or Saturday, but
that's all right.
Getting our foot door in the casinos.
Yep,
that's what
absolutely
what counts.
There you go.
Then Friday and Saturday we're back at Archie, so we're touring.
Nice. The I-44 tour.
That's right.
All right. So
Hard Rock and then Archie.
Moving on up. All right. Tyler Weeks says Kingdom by Downstate. Downstate. Oh, gotcha. Okay, Downstate, but it's spelled funny. It's all fancy.
That's Tyler did that one?
Sure did.
Okay, Tyler, better be good.
It better be good, by golly, or I'll entertain the heck out of you next week.
All right, no more 7s.
All right, we're all done. Moving right along. Elkie says, Joshua Poole, that's really cool to be able to play at Hard Rock. Absolutely.
It is really cool.
That's a nice little tick on the resume.
We've only been doing music, been playing live since January. So that's a nice.
It's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
It's a little feather in our cap, if you will.
That's right. All right. Everybody is in and situated. So let's go ahead and meet today's guests. Our first guest, you know her from the band Chelsey James. Well, let's go ahead and welcome at this time Chelsey James.
Hi, Chelsey.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I had to mute her because she was talking earlier.
Oh, I don't blame you. I would be laughing too. There you go.
Hello.
You can unmute her, am I?
There we go.
Hey,
I
Chelsey.
think. Am I on?
You're on. Do you
Woo!
need?
And I'm going to bring you down in our feed because
Okay.
you're
Sorry, I'm
awful
loud.
No, you're totally
I'm
fine.
You're
very
closer to the
loud.
mic than you were when we were talking earlier.
Well, you're actually lower in your headphones. Do you want me to raise your headphones, Chelsea?
A little bit, yes. That would be great. There we go.
Cool.
Perfect.
Sweet.
I know. I don't want to burst everyone's eardrums.
We are so
What?
professional
Did
here.
somebody say something? It's like I can't hear anymore. Deborah says, hashtag just joshing. Yeah,
Not this week.
not this week. Not this week. Mama Marcia took the week off. So,
So my mom called. I called my mom the other day.
oh, yes.
And
let me get you in here on
so,
the second.
yeah, called my mom just to check up on some family stuff, and they hung up the phone. Well, they didn't actually hang up the phone, and I could hear my mom and dad talking. Did you tell them we're coming up for the thing?
Oh,
And
really?
So I think they're going to try to surprise me, but it's not a surprise.
Oh.
So
Well, this is one of those things like, I'm glad you're whispering so that they can't hear that
that's
you're going
right.
to,
They
that you're
can't
already,
hear the thing.
that the jig is up.
Yeah. So I don't know if you got anything planned for them, but if you want to communicate some way of embarrassing me in the live show,
Trust me, it happens
sure you
weekly.
will.
Don't even worry about it. All right. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I still hit the wrong button.
See,
Josh, help
it
me
ain't
out.
so easy.
Help!
All right. This
gonna
is the
sit
one
here
you
and
need
wait.
to be on.
That's the
right there.
one.
That's
There
the
you go.
one.
All right, let's go ahead and meet our second guest. If she looks familiar to you, there might be a reason why.
I know who that is.
Speaking of just joshing and all these childhood pictures, well, here is
That's more than a childhood picture. That's a national video right
it's
there.
a vidya. Yes,
vidya.
indeed. You know her from Acting for Real. She's got her own IMDb page. How about that? So look it up. She's been on all kinds of stuff, and I can't wait to talk to her about most of it. So let's go ahead and welcome at this time the one and only Miss Jonna Volz.
Hi. Oh, I need to be shorter.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm gonna go down.
There you
there
go.
we go.
Perfect.
Hey, no
Hey,
camera
John,
tricks
how's it
here.
going?
I feel like I should do the dramatic, sad look. I don't have bangs, so it's a little.
Oh, well, no, go for it. I got
We got
you here.
music for it.
Somewhere. Here you go. Hit it.
Oh, the music.
Oh, it's muted.
Should I do that? What am I doing? Am I
I don't know.
acting?
I'm
Am I
getting.
acting?
I don't know. What are we doing? I have no idea. So really quick, it's really cool because a lot of times our guests will get here a few minutes early, kind of get settled in and stuff. And for people that I haven't met yet, it gives us a chance to meet. But guess what? Jonna literally just walked in as we were doing the intro. So right here you have it, Jonna. It's very nice to meet you, and
Nice
thank you
to
so
meet
much
you.
for having
Hi.
it, or for having. Thanks for having us.
Nice
You're
to meet you.
welcome. You're welcome.
Nice to meet you, Jonna.
Nice
Yeah,
to meet you, Josh.
right.
We've,
Yeah, it's
we've known
almost-
each other for what, 20 years?
Yeah, or
Oh my God.
24 hours.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I thought you said haven't seen each other.
No, we
Oh
haven't seen
yeah,
each other.
yeah. I
Yeah,
heard
we
there was
saw
a
each
gas
other,
station
yeah.
run-in.
There was, yeah.
Good old Springfield.
Good
Right,
old-
gotta love it. Can't get away from Joshua
Wait,
no matter
no,
where you
I
go.
want to sip my coffee too. Hold on.
Go for
Let's do it.
By the way, there is don't burn your tongue.
There's no coffee.
There's a ton of coffee over here
Yeah.
to your left if you want some.
Okay, cool.
I've got my iced latte. If anyone.
Ice Miss Lice.
It's an ice.
Miss
vanilla-
Iced Latte is in the house.
Yeah.
Yes, vanilla
I need to
latte,
learn how to
right?
speak.
It's vanilla latte?
Yes.
Okay.
Joshua, can you read us the ingredients for that, by the way?
That's latte and vanilla.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a
Chelsey,
whole.
Your hair with these headphones is like amazing. I was like,
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
want to do.
gosh.
How are you
You're-
doing this? You're
my
making
hair's
it.
nothing. You're like all curled.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's
Sorry,
all right. I
keep
flat
talking.
iron mine
That's
this
all
time.
right.
Finally,
It's okay with girl talk here. We can do girl
Honestly,
talk.
Hey,
It's
we all
fine.
have pretty good hair.
we have
We
some
do.
good long
We really
hair.
do.
That's right. There's a lot of pretty.
Oh wow! Look, it's
Long hair club.
it's the curly crew
Yeah.
and the straight crew.
Oh.
There's
there's
there's a higher
a
level.
joke there somewhere.
There's a higher level of pretty today.
Oh,
Normally
there
we've
he
got a
is.
bunch of jaded musicians in here that are like strung out from the night before and like
Right.
So
All right, just making sure our feed didn't freeze. We're good. I got freaked out for a second. All right. So we've got that.
oh,
Now
well,
then. So normally we would be playing some games, doing some fun stuff,
Hey,
but
yeah.
this is what we're doing this time. So I want to go there. So we are taking these songs one by one and comparing the two, track one versus track one, track two versus track two, and so on and so forth for these two Reba McEntire albums. So the first up is track one with For My Broken Heart from the same album, and track two from Oh, why can I not think
Read
of it?
my mind.
Read my mind.
Dude.
Thank you. Good Lord Almighty. Everything That You Want are the two songs that we are comparing right now. So I've got, let's see here. What order do we want to go in for today? Do you want to start?
Do I want to start?
Yeah.
No, I want.
No, but here's the thing, and
Okay.
here's why I asked this, because Joshua grew up listening to. Well, I won't even speak for you. Tell the folks a little bit about what you listened to growing up and stuff.
I grew up listening to Jonna's dad. Is what I grew up listening to, and rock and roll and
Right.
pop, but not really country, because I grew up in Arkansas and I didn't really fit into Arkansas. So rock and pop was my thing, and especially Petra. So
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not very well versed in Reba's catalog.
Which I think is going to be kind of refreshing, because
is.
he and I texted each other this morning. He's like, "Yeah, my answers and stuff won't be jaded in nostalgia. It'll be straight up. Here's what I think of the song," and I think that's going to be kind of a neat
Mhm.
perspective. So,
Yeah.
let's see here. On the comments, Chet Smith is here. He says,
Hi,
"Thanks for
Chet.
hanging last night, brother." Absolutely. Chet and I had such a blast. Chet, I was up in the booth and I was running lights. Doyle was running sound. And between sets and before the show, Chet was just having a blast, like on the Spotify deal, and just throwing up songs like, "Hey, you know who this is? Hey, isn't this great song?" And it was just a blast to hang out with somebody that's that enthusiastic about music and stuff. So, Chet, you're the man. And thanks for the drink last night, by the way.
And his pictures from last night were amazing.
Freaking insane. Yeah,
Dude.
honestly, really, really good. Even Elke says, awesome pictures.
I have some awesome pictures taken with Chet. So
Chet is the man. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a Springfield staple for sure, and he
Yeah.
has done a lot of great work with a lot of great people. So
Yeah.
he turned me into art.
nice.
It was
Yeah.
it was
He
good.
does that.
Well, and that's the thing though. Chet is, everybody's like, "Oh, the photographer, Chet Smith." I'm like, no, he does way more than that.
He does.
He's just got such an artistic eye. He even literally like does draw and art and stuff
yeah,
like
he
that.
posted some of his drawings, I think last week, that were amazing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I told you earlier in the show, to check out our Patreon, there's going to be a little something in there with Chet Smith. So just saying, you might jump on board. Chet says hugs to Jonna. There you go. Also, Deb Klein says Deb don't Reba. I saw her in Tremors. Yeah, Tremors is a great movie. She had a lot of her IMDb page is also quite long.
She had her own sitcom too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 or 7 seasons, something like that. I think.
Didn't watch that
I did some research, but I didn't write any of it down, and it's all in here. And so it's just like this big Reba mumbly mess of info. So we'll see what comes out when. And Stephanie Norton says, "Oh my gosh, that was my first part of the show. You and Chet. Oh, my favorite part of the show. You and Chet singing in the sound booth. Yeah, we were cutting up and having a good time, man. It was great." All right, now then, let's go ahead and get back to the classic album Clash and kick this thing off. So Joshua, yeah, I think I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
And so we've got For My Broken Heart versus Everything That You Want.
Okay, so Everything You Want, I thought, was a better opening song. Didn't particularly care for the Kenny G vibe in the beginning.
Of Everything That You Want.
Yeah, of Everything You Want. But on For My Broken Heart, to me, sounded more like a third song on the album. It wasn't a real strong beginning song for that album. So my vote is going to go for Everything You Want.
That's very interesting. I mean, again, this is going to be it's weird for me because I'm so used to being like, oh, everybody knows Reba. I even did that to Jonna this week. I was like, hey, you're in the fancy video, so you know all the Reba, right? And she's like,
No.
I was like, oh yeah, duh, of course not. And it's one of those things like, and that's with any genre of music or any creative thing like movies or music or whatever. If you don't know it, you just don't know it. So no matter how big and popular it got. Okay, so I'll go ahead. I won't throw my vote next, but I want to point this out, and maybe this will sway you.
Maybe, but
So-
I doubt it.
So For My Broken Heart came out in 1991.
Yeah.
Earlier that year or previously in 1990, her band was in a plane crash and they all died. And so this album came out, and it was like her kind of showing that emotion of her lost bandmates and stuff.
Mhm.
And so even though the song For My Broken Heart is kind of a one-on-one, a guy and a girl kind of thing, the lyrics are to where you can also kind of translate it, and you know that it's also about her bandmates that she lost in the plane crash, which is why it was the first single from that album.
See, I knew nothing about that, and I still don't care.
Oh, ouch. So, and here's the other thing.
Solely on its own merits is what I'm basing these on. So.
That's fair. So I didn't even tell Joshua which songs were singles, which ones weren't. Nothing. I was like, actually, do no research, just listen. So For My Broken Heart peaked at number 1, and it was there for 2 weeks. And I was this week years old when I found out that the song was actually supposed to be a duet with one of my all-time favorite country singers, Clint Black. It was supposed to be a duet, and he was busy with his album at the time, and so it didn't happen. So I hate that it didn't happen, but at the same time, with the whole plane crash thing and the story of the song, I'm almost kind of glad that it was just her, because again, it made it to where it was more relatable to all the life happenings of Reba McEntire herself.
See, I heard he wasn't busy; he was just afraid he would die himself.
Oh my
getting
God.
involved with Reba.
Oh wow. Josh is downing the dark roast over there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead. Chelsey, what are your thoughts on For My Broken Heart and Everything That You Want?
So I had actually not heard Everything That You Want before this homework assignment, which, by the way, best homework assignment ever.
Right?
Just
Yeah.
Listening to Reba all week. I gotta tell you, the saxophone solo on Everything That You Want kind of won me over personally. So I'm gonna have to go with that one.
Nice.
But you're young and you weren't subjected to Kenny G all the time. As a
No,
kid.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. But it
Yeah.
totally brought me back to like the days of I was born in 93. Like, so when I was 3, 4, 5, like the soap operas constantly playing
Right.
on the TV at home.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, it's giving me all these flashbacks, and it kind of comforted me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm all for the saxophone solo. And it's that typical sassy Reba attitude, which I love. So yeah, I gotta go with Everything That You Want for this one.
Okay.
Personally.
That's fair. Jonna, what do you think?
I agree with Josh. I can't with the Kenny G thing.
No,
It's just-
you know what I'm talking
I
about,
can't.
right? It starts out, and
I think
I
it's
actually-
a rock and roll kid thing. You're just like, oh, like if it's jazz sax,
yeah,
fine.
Coleman Hawkins, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I may have misunderstood. So you're going for My Broken Heart, not
I am going with My Broken Heart, but
Okay.
I absolutely hated the sax stuff in it.
Gotcha. I understand. I for some reason thought
Yeah.
you meant that you were going with the sax song. So
No. I am going with the sax song.
Yeah, I agree with Josh that I don't like the sax.
but you like the song.
Uh,
I'm so freaking confused.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm confused a little bit.
I think part of it is the fact that album titles are kind of confusing. So
yeah. I if I have
What?
like can you like a song if you don't like the whole part of the song?
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
can.
yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes.
yeah, I
I agree
didn't
with
like.
Josh.
Yeah,
Okay. So your vote is for
Josh's vote.
mine was Everything You Want.
That one.
Yeah.
I forget which one goes to what.
Gotcha.
For My Broken Heart is the one about her.
the plane
Damn it,
crash
the
and,
plane
So
and
crash.
yeah.
sad.
Okay. So we've got 2 for Everything You Want. And Chelsea, which one are you going with?
I was also Everything That You Want
All
for a
right.
different reason, but
Fair enough. This is
'cause I love the sax. Apparently, I'm
So here's the
The
deal.
only one.
I love the sax as well, actually. And I thought it was really refreshing to have a saxophone in a Reba McEntire song, because she's not known for that. So Kenny G or not, like I actually enjoyed it.
But at that time, Kenny G was ubiquitous, and he was
Ooh, that's a
everywhere.
big word, Josh.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
Say that again.
Ubiquitous,
Ooh.
meaning everywhere. So to me, when she
You
threw
think
that,
so?
No.
I mean,
yeah.
No.
Jonna,
he was
he
a
was
flash in
everywhere.
the pan compared to
No.
Reba. And I was born in 83.
No, at that time, you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing.
Oh,
Kenny
yes, you
G.
could.
Yeah, you could.
It depends on what I mean, obviously
you
we're listening to totally different stations.
Well,
I mean, to be fair.
No,
I'm listening to
he had
country
some
and rock,
crossover.
and you're listening to Christian music and Kenny G.
No, I wasn't listening.
You just said at the top of the show.
I was listening to pop, but that song that he had was everywhere. And so to me, when she put that in
song,
there,
you heard it here first.
that Kenny G song was everywhere. And so when she put
Bird
that
song.
in there, yes, when she put that sax in there, it was pandering to Kenny G. That sound.
What year did this? Look it up and see what
I
year.
don't know.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, who pandered to who? We'll see.
Well, I mean, everybody.
yeah,
want-
Reba pandering.
Not-
I
Thank
don't know
you.
about
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
She-
Thank you.
she took an idea that was very
I'm looking this
popular
up.
and shoved it into a song.
Okay, so Deborah said, "What's wrong with the sax?" Ryan Dunn's amazing.
Nothing's wrong
but
with the
Ryan
sax.
Ryan fits it into like jazz and blues and rock, and it's like I'm at the time, I don't know, like Kenny G and country at the same time. It's just
No.
not, it doesn't.
No.
But
It wasn't Kenny G that played it. I looked it up because it sounded so much like Kenny G.
You think it did that much?
Oh, absolutely. That intro. Now the solo of it wasn't so Kenny G, but the intro was definitely Kenny G sounding.
But that's just how they did drama back then. Like everything was very, I don't know, like silhouette-y and red dressy and
Yes.
It reminds me of this was a show probably on when I was like an infant, so I can't remember the name. It reminded me of some show, it's like is it In the Heat of the Night?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
go for it, Jonna. Yep, go for it.
I was also in that show.
Yeah.
Yep.
No way.
Yeah,
Yep.
and actually it's on Amazon Prime now, so you can watch. It's like season 5, episode 10.
It's right there in my notes.
Yep.
There you see it. Heat of the night, number one.
I get kidnapped and chloroformed, and
They did
It
not
was-
prep
well-
me to say this.
Well, again, I'm glad that you were able to make it today.
Thanks.
Oh my
It's the
gosh.
same.
What
it's
am I
this-
doing here, Jared?
You're a heck of a talented lady, and that's why you're here. So,
That was a busy year for me. I think I did everything cool in my entire life
were you in the Kenny G video?
that year. No.
Okay, there you go. See, I rest my case. I mean, you can't trump that one. Okay, so I am going to make the correct vote. Sorry, everybody here. You're all wrong. It's For My Broken Heart without question. It's just by far a better song in my opinion.
All right, let's go to
one
the board.
one instrument is not going to save a song. Sorry. Yes, so let's go and check out what everybody else thinks in the comments. By the way, don't forget, you guys, your comments count. So let us know which song you prefer if you're familiar with it. If not, like I said, there's playlist available that you can give it a listen while we're going on and tell us what you think.
Please make it through the intro of the song. It gets better.
Let's see here. Liz Deck says, I love Cher. Chet. I wonder how many times autocorrect has turned Chet into Cher.
That
Want me to
has
take your picture?
That has to be one of the most annoying things too. Like,
Yeah.
I have one of those names too.
Do you get the EA?
Yeah, my name's spelled S-E-Y, you know, and like every time I'm on stage and I'm like trying to, look me up. I'm like, and you spell my name C-H-E-L-S-E-Y. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I have to say it.
Yeah,
but
no.
I can imagine that in text is like, that has to be so annoying.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, Chet. I'm sorry.
it's legit a thing. It's a crazy thing that we get frustrated by, but it's legit.
Mine is Donna with a J.
Oh, Donna.
I say, they're like, wait,
Oh.
what? Joanna. I'm like, it's like Donna with a J. It's like a visual, like the
Right.
O and an A. Is your dad
Yep.
named John? No, it's Greg.
Close.
Is your mom named like? I'm like, no, it's Becky.
So again, we all have the long hair going. We all have the name thing going. And I think I mentioned this recently on one of the episodes, but in speech, I hate when people are like, "What's your name?" Or I'm like, "Hi, my name's Jared. Nice to meet you." And they're like, "Oh, hi, Jerry." And I'm like, "Did you not hear the D? Come on, get the D." And then Joshua with Josh instead of Joshua. So we've all got a name thing. Interesting. All right, so let's go. Liz says my talk to text sucks. Well, type it out. All right, so let's see here in the comments.
Somebody is starting In the Heat of the Night right now. You're gonna season 5, episode 10. It's called Eye for an Eye
There
with
you
Claude
go.
Akins.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm literally gonna watch that when I get home.
Yeah.
I look like I'm 7, but I'm 16.
Yeah,
I really look so young. It's
Wait, so
crazy.
how old were you in the Reba video?
15.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like the
Okay.
summer I turned 18. It was
Right.
it was the winter and I was 15.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to hear more about that here in a little bit. Elkie says, "For My Broken Heart" is her vote. Yeah, Mike says, "Starting Heat of the Night now." There you go. Make sure you at least have us on in the background. I mean, come on, Mike, tell us we're worthy of that. Come on.
You must have finished Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah. Exactly. If you know, you know. Deborah says, "Eventually you will come across one Reba song I've heard of on a TV commercial." Well, I would hope so.
Wonder what that one is.
Christy Pressler says, "For My Broken Heart" stands out more to me of the two. And Chris says, "Got to go with For My Broken Heart, playing tribute to the Crazy Eight." Yes.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Chet says,
I am
"My full name is
unencumbered by
Chestel."
nostalgia.
You heard it here
Chestel.
first.
That's
Chestel.
special.
Why do I feel like
Speaking-
I suddenly am speaking with a speech impediment?
Are you
Hi there,
serious?
Chestel.
Is he serious? Are you serious, Chet? Is that real?
I don't know, but we're making it a thing regardless.
Good call.
It is now.
Liz Deck says, best one I've heard is my friend sent me a text. It read, I'm on my way pajamas on Clay Street. We're supposed to say Clay Cooper. Interesting. All right. Let's see here. Let's jump around. Yes, I did, Brian. I said, get some D. We'll make it a shirt. Love the video. All right. So I'm doing both Little House Rule. Josh, there you he even did the Josh on purpose. Love that.
Mike,
Hashtag
you're a jerk. Love
hashtag
you, man.
Gestel.
Speaking of Chestel, you got some chests there showing. You got some
I
hair
do.
peeking
I
out
got I need to
for the ladies and the men.
right. Well, I need a combine to take care of some of this. All right, let's move on to our track 2. By the way, so I can't believe it. My song lost, and we're gonna go ahead with Everything That You Want is the one. you heard that.
No,
No?
your song won.
Oh well, there you
actually.
go. Good. Thanks
From
for the
comments,
commenters.
put it ahead.
Hey.
That was it was a hard one. That's gonna be one of the more difficult ones to choose between. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some.
There's some later that are really
Yeah.
I
really
feel
tough.
very strongly about some of the others, so I feel like
Yeah,
we'll see.
same.
We'll see.
This is one of the ones that I personally felt really strong about. So, all right, Joshua, let's see what track 2 is.
But fancy was my name.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there life out there versus Read My Mind, which is the title track from Read My Mind. All right. So, Joshua, let's hear what you got to say, my friend.
Well, I thought that Life Out There was more upbeat.
It is.
But Read My Mind was more classic country. I really loved the pedal steel guitar in that. I thought it just added so much to the song. And it had some really great background vocals. So I am going to go with Read My Mind.
All right. Let's see here. So, Read My Mind was not a single, but Is There Life Out There is. And it peaked at the number 1 position and was there for 2 weeks. It actually peaked at number 1 the week of her 37th birthday, which is this week, which is today. By the way, happy birthday to Reba. That's why we're doing this. So in the video for Is There Life Out There, it tells a story, and she was very known for her music videos being very theatrical and kind of like Michael Jackson with like the mini movie kind of thing.
She's just like Michael Jackson. I can hardly tell the two apart.
Because Fancy was my name. All right. So the music video, it shows her being a waitress, and she's going to college, raising a family, and trying to balance all of that. And she's just wondering, like, I've got all this. Is there more to what I've got? Is this where I want to be in life kind of thing? It's kind of a reflective type song, which I'll go ahead and say is what gets my vote. So Is There Life Out There is where I'm going. Chelsey James, what do you think?
Yeah, this is kind of another tough one for me because I do love both of them, but I think for me, I really do very much appreciate the lyrics of Read My Mind and the message behind it. But Is There Life Out There to me is like a song that you can't not sing along to.
Yeah.
And just the I don't know, the beat of it.
I think the production too just has that really uplifting kind of sound and feel to it.
I love that. And of course, the message, I can't necessarily relate to it. I'm almost 30 and don't even have kids yet. But
Same. On the no kids part, I wish I was almost 30.
But I'm gonna have to go with Is There Life Out There as well.
Okay.
Because it's one of my favorites, not just of these albums, but songs in general.
Nice.
So
nice. What about you, Jonna?
Well, I'm a big lyric person.
Okay.
In the midst of all my cool, TV stuff. Eventually,
in your spare time, you focus on lyrics.
I know. Actually, yeah, there was a season I was in LA. I was a songwriter. So, and I love lyrics. And I'm for a couple different reasons. I'm voting for Is There Life Out There for the lyrics. Number one, this could be something that happened to Fancy.
Right? Yeah.
While she was on her journey and maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But also
this feels like a Marvel movie where there's like these crossed Yeah.
But also because of what I do professionally and living in Springfield, Missouri, I hear this sentiment a lot around me where people feel stuck, they feel trapped in a small place and they want to have a bigger life. And because I teach acting and, that kind of thing, I hear a lot of that, like, I just want out of here. I just want to go out and do something bigger. And they come from really, really small towns that are like 700 people. So, I mean, just on lyrics alone and story alone, I like it.
Yeah, it's a great sentiment for sure. And just like basically what she does in the video, you just have to bust the doors open and jump. You have to go. Because you'll never know if you don't. So I take it then you're going with Is There Life Out There?
Yes.
Okay. So on to the comments. We've got Liz Deck with Life Out There. Cindy Lucas says Life Out There. What? Mike McCorder says
he's watching in the heat of the night. That's what's happening.
I'm glad you're filling me in on those because it's been a minute since I watched some Heat of the Night, but yeah. Good stuff.
Becky's gone.
I know my character was named after my mother, my real mother. Not on purpose. Sorry. Back to the song.
You're fine. Let's see here. Christy says, read my mind. Brian agrees. Read my mind. Chet Smith says, my grandmother was Cherokee and had two uncles named Chester. She couldn't spell, so my father and I have the L. Gotcha. That's an interesting story. Elkie says, is there life out there? All right. So far, where are we sitting at, Josh?
Life Out There is like 7 and Read My Mind is 3. So it isn't even close.
Not even close. So we'll go ahead and call that one and move on from here. So I think before we go on, I've already sucked down a cup of coffee, so I'm going to get a refill, all that kind of fun stuff. And we're going to do, as Josh says, a little pee and a puff if you need it. So we'll be back in just a minute or two. Stick around. We'll see you.
Hey Springfield, Robert and Cheryl Crook here.
And together we are Zen Lens Photo Media.
You've probably seen us around town, but did you know we also do family and children photography?
Don't forget maternity and infant sessions.
As well as senior portraits and weddings.
Please keep us in mind when you need event coverage and videography.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or at www.zenlensphotomedia.com.
Or you can give us a call at 417-818-7067 and book your session today.
All right, so we are back, and let's see if I can figure out what button to push. There it is. I said the magic words, a pee and a puff, and everybody vanished. I think Joshua's got the whole producer thing under control. So whenever I have to go and do it, it's kind of weird. It feels weird. I feel like I've forgotten how to do it. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the show so far. We've got a lot of good songs still to come. I feel like both of these albums, I mentioned this to Joshua in text earlier this morning. I feel like a lot of these are kind of backloaded albums, meaning that a lot of the bigger hits are on the second half or side B, if you will, of both of these albums. So a lot of good stuff still to come. Deborah Klein says hashtag Hootie Free. There you go. Hootie Who? By the way, I got to see Michael Fleming wearing his Hootie Who shirt out at the Dirty Saints show last night, and it looked awesome. So shout out to everybody so far that has bought merch. Deborah Klein has. Michael has. Kim Garmery has bought a few things. Really good stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, go over to audioroast.com. Check out our merch section. We've got all kinds of fun stuff over there. So let's see what kind of stuff we can come up with today. Maybe we can come up with a cool new shirt or a mug or something. Let's see here. Mike says, I'm assuming Becky ends up safe since you're on the show tonight. Exactly. That's what I said. Like, I'm glad she was able to escape all that and join us. Sounds like she might have been kind of tied up for a little bit. So anyway, all right. Deborah says, I'm taking my fanny pack on vacation. Awesome. I want to see like a Audio Roast fanny pack beach picture. That's what I want to see. All right. Let's go ahead at this time and get to know Miss Chelsey James. Now that we've got everybody back in here and kind of settled in, we can go ahead and get to know her a little bit. Whoa! Hi.
What was that?
That was the phone or something. I don't know. It was weird. Yay, technology. All right, let me get all situated here. What'd you do? Wrong one. There you
Well,
go.
she was making some faces, some embarrassment faces. I was trying to
It
catch.
wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault.
No,
I was
it's not
just-
you.
Of course not.
I was
Of course
just
not.
It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me.
Blame
Chelsey.
everything on me. I'm the producers.
Chelsey, how's it going?
It's fantastic. I'm excited to be here. This is super fun.
Awesome. I'm really glad that you were able to do it, by the way.
Yeah.
I reached out to you, I think, sometime last year, and I was like, hey, I'm doing a podcast. So I'd love to have you on sometime. I'm glad that we were finally able to kind of get that to happen. I know schedules and stuff have been crazy. But yeah, so okay, so I told you, I think I might have told you, I won't say too much on air, but as it's happening, I'm like, well, it's kind of funny. So you were recently on somebody else's podcast and they hit you with a question out of nowhere. I won't get too specific. And you were just like,
it's fine.
you just had this,
We can tell.
I'll let you go ahead and tell the story because it's really funny.
Well, yeah. So I was on a podcast recently. I'm not gonna say the name because people will then go and find it, and I'll then really be embarrassed. But and I'm on there as like a country musician, so you want to come off like you just know every song that's ever been released in the country music world,
right?
And so I was on this podcast, and they had Tracy Lawrence on there a few days before me. And I should have known, I should have been prepared. But the guy was like, randomly, all right, what's your top 3 favorite Tracy Lawrence songs?
With no heads up.
Top 3. I'm like, I may have been able to come up with one. Okay.
Right.
Top 3. Yeah. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, I get him and Tracy Bird mixed up. And I'm just going to try. And I was like, Watermelon Crow. And he was like, that's Tracy Bird. And I'm like, well, give me a second. And I literally had to pull up Spotify.
Yes.
Like, oh, yeah. See, and then when I pulled it up, I knew, but I'm like,
right.
Oh my
but just to rattle them off.
People are probably like, oh, this girl.
And she calls herself a country music artist.
Exactly.
So I bring this up because it's a funny a lesson, if you will, as a host. Not to expect every guest to have watched every episode. So I won't do that to you. So
I appreciate that.
I say all that to
I've learned my lesson, so you just quiz me. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, we're gonna start right there. So everybody watching along.
Our questions are a little more subjective.
Yes.
There are no right or wrong answers.
That's right. So everybody knows that watches what my first question is going to be. And since I don't expect you to know, this will be fun. Chelsey James, what is your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
Pop-Tarts
I know
are those
you probably get asked that all the time.
In case you don't know what Pop-Tarts are.
Hey.
Well, she didn't know who Tracy Lawrence was. I didn't.
Hey, see, Deborah said, "Who's Tracy Lawrence?" Exactly. No, he's actually kind of huge, but Pop-Tart.
in every sense of the word,
he's
like
well
he's a
known
tall
in the music
dude.
community, too.
Okay, it has been a long time since I have had a Pop-Tart, but the basic. I remember eating like the cinnamon, brown sugar
cinnamon,
and cinnamon. Those I ate those a lot as a kid.
All right, and for our fans watching along at home, I've got a follow-up question: butter or no butter on your Pop-Tart?
I've never put butter on a Pop-Tart.
Neither have I. We just, we learned of this recently, and it's like,
I don't
really
understand how do you microwave it with it, or I don't
know. Come to the live. I tell you what, I'll go ahead and give this away. Come to the live show,
yeah.
and you'll find out.
Oh, okay.
So
I did have a conversation with someone who does butter their Pop-Tarts, and
you talked to Dirt?
No, not Dirt, just a staff of mine, and you toast it, and then you just spread butter on it.
Oh, because it's already warm.
Yeah, and I asked him, what is the appeal? And he says, well, it's like butter on your toast.
No, I don't see that.
They're Pop-Tarts, not Pop Toast.
I guess.
Yeah,
Hey, that's what I was told, man. I'm not justifying it.
Somebody, I think it might have been Deborah Klein. I can't remember. Somebody said something about take your, let me see if I can get in frame here. Take your Pop-Tart and score it whenever you get ready to warm it up.
That's
and then
too much work.
Well, that's what I think. And then put it in the toaster and then butter. And then all the butter gets inside of those crevices. I'm like, exactly what Josh said. I'm like, this is too much work.
I thought the point of a Pop-Tart was
simplicity.
To be super fast.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like a gourmet meal now.
Yeah. Too many steps. Caitlin says, why butter? Exactly. I don't get it. Nobody's see, look.
Butterfree.
Butterfree,
Yes.
no butter. Exactly. All right, now then, on to some real questions here. Chelsey, do you play any instruments?
Not well.
Not well. That's fair.
Nope.
If you could, so if I had a magic wand, oh God, I'm throwing things. If I had a magic wand and waved it and was like, okay, you're a virtuoso on this instrument, what instrument would you like to play?
Piano.
Nice.
100% piano, which I can play enough to get me by to write songs and figure out a key for something, but I would never play in front of people. But
gotcha.
I would love to be able to play piano.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you know what your first album was that you bought with your own money? Tracy Bird. Just kidding.
No, but if I'm gonna probably a safe bet is Carrie Underwood's first album coming off American Idol.
Oh yeah.
I'd say it maybe not with my own money, but
yeah, you know,
it was definitely like my first album I remember.
Gotcha.
Getting.
Nice.
Asking for at least my mom taking me to Walmart and getting it basically.
Yep. Exactly. So you write a lot of music and stuff, obviously, and I know that you have thrown in some covers and stuff. And by the way, so people kind of get our connection. You've performed a handful of times at Southbound and other places and stuff, and I've ran sound for you. Which, by the way, you are absolutely one of the best people to work with. And you always were so professional and just super easy to get along with, and I always appreciate that about you.
Well, thank you.
But I want to kind of twist this a little bit. So if you were, let's take your solo career and your any kind of cover songs or anything, let's shelf that for a minute. If you had to be in a tribute band, what artist or what band would you want to tribute to where you're just playing their songs?
A few come to mind. People would expect me to say Carrie Underwood, I think, because I do like to cover her stuff, but I think I would also die if I did that on stage.
So that's a big ask. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And I'm literally not saying this because of the artists that we're covering today, but it honestly, I probably would do Reba.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's got a great discography, a slew of great songs that would be a blast to sing for sure.
Well, and you know, she's got like her real sassy stuff, which I love. And then she's also got the ballads, which I love. Like, it is literally my dream. Well, a huge dream would be to sing "Does He Love You" with her one day.
Yeah.
But I would just love to. I want to duet it with another local female artist around here. I would love to duet that at a show.
That would be really cool. In doing my research for today's show, by the way, you went ahead and told your Tracy Lawrence story. I'll go ahead and tell my story for the research that I did this week. So I grew up listening to country and stuff in the 80s and 90s. Once like the 2000s hit, I kind of checked out and went like more rock and heavy metal and that kind of stuff. So I was also this week years old whenever I found out that Lady Antebellum, the female singer from there, is Linda Davis's daughter. Blew my mind. I was like, no way. And I of course did know who Lady Antebellum was, and I did already like them. But I was just like, wow, this is crazy. It blew my mind. So good stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me see here. If you could, no, I don't want to go there yet. What would you be if you followed your childhood dream? What would little Chelsey be when she grew up?
I wanted to be a meteorologist.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
We've got a green screen. We can make dreams happen.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
This would be so okay. Can I come do like a weather report every week?
Yes.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm not even kidding. Yes.
Ask my husband, all my friends. They would literally. They know. Everyone knows that. I'm like, and I honestly, even a step further, it's like my dream to go chase tornadoes someday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
I love them. I think they're so cool.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? Like, is it the thrill of the chase, or is it just the science behind the weather that kind of intrigues you more?
I don't really know, because I'm not necessarily like a huge adrenaline junkie. Like I'm like totally afraid of heights. Like I would never jump
Same.
out of a plane, like anything like that. But there's just something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I just growing up in Southwest Missouri and they happen all the time here.
Right.
Like I don't know.
'Tis the season, by the way.
Yeah. I think that, and literally one of my favorite movies ever is Twister.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yes. I don't know. I just think they're so cool and also very terrible, but you know, it's like I just want to see one in a nice field where there's no houses,
Right, where nothing's really getting tore up and damaged.
Yes,
But yeah, just the
yes.
I get
don't
that.
want the destruction. I just want to see one.
Yep.
You know, fully. I just think that would be so cool.
Well, we can make half of that dream happen. I can't promise you any tornadoes, especially the indestructive ones, but I can tell you that we've got a green screen, and I think before the show's over, we'll let you do some weather. Yeah,
okay.
we'll let
I'm
you
ready.
check one off the bucket list.
Perfect.
So awesome. All right, so I've got a little clip of one of your current singles that is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's still on a country chart, correct? With hands on the Bible.
Actually, yeah, this week we kind of had something really exciting happen.
Oh, do tell.
When you hit top 80, you actually get on the Music Row country music chart, and this week it actually hit 80.
Wow,
so
that's awesome! Congratulations.
I debuted on the Music Row chart with it this week, so that was
good stuff. Love that.
That was really exciting.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's still going.
Good. I also noticed that you released an acoustic version of that too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah, awesome. Did you record those at the same time and just release later, or did you just decide, you know what, I kind of want to do this acoustically also?
Yeah, no, it was at different times. I feel like I'm actually probably going to do that with every song I put out now. Just do a little acoustic version of all of them, a little stripped version. I just love those. I love when other artists do them. So I thought, yeah, I need to do that.
Absolutely. Well, plus it gives you the chance to. So for myself as a singer, like everybody always talks like I can sing so many high notes and stuff, which cool story. But like when in a live setting, and you're doing a show for however long, sometimes you can't get there always. So I always record not two separate tracks, but what am I trying to say? So in the same song, two different tracks, one with a really high vocal and then one with like a lower register, so that in a live setting, I can determine which one do I need to jump to.
Yes.
And I could see how acoustically it would do the same, because one of the shows that I've worked with you was an acoustic show. So it kind of gives you don't have to, it's not untreaded water. You're able to already know, okay, this is how it should sound and feel.
Yeah,
so I
love acoustic shows and acoustic stripped down versions of songs where you can really hear the lyrics.
Right.
The vocals are like at the forefront, because I in the main recordings I really do heavy guitars and stuff, so I think that's why I love it so much, is because it's such a contrast when I do that. And it's just
and like you said, it puts a lot of focus on the words and the meaning and emotion of the song. Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
All right, so we've got a clip of your song Bible on the Hands on the Bible. Flip that around there. So let's go ahead and check out Chelsey James. So Chelsey, where was this shot, by the way?
Oh, this is a cool story, because this was actually shot at we have like kind of a family compound.
Okay.
We live, my parents and my husband and I and my aunt and uncle, we live on like 300 acre farm out in Seymour.
Yeah.
And we shot it there. It's all
Nice.
shot in Seymour. So that was really special. And a lot of the people in it are family and friends.
How cool. That's very special. Yeah.
Like that's my grandma.
Aw.
Well, she comes in later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my actual real grandma.
How cool.
That's my husband.
Were they oh nice. Were they all excited to be in the video, or did you have to do some convincing?
No, and that's my dad. No, everyone's like, you know how not every little clip makes it into the final cut, and everyone's always like, oh, my part didn't make it. No, they love it.
That's really cool. That's refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't usually have to force people, which is nice.
Yeah. I love this song. There's Grandma.
There's Grandma. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this song
was
is fantastic.
super special. It was so fun. It's fun to shoot at home.
Yeah, absolutely. When you don't have a
Convenient.
lot of travel to deal with.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
All right, now then, let's go ahead and get back into our classic album Clash. Brian, by the way, let me pull these comments up. Brian says, now to the weather with Chelsey James. Stay tuned because we will make that happen.
I
Right.
I always know what's going on at any given moment.
There you go. I actually, ironically, and I don't know why, but whenever I was building my website for Audio Roast, I went ahead and put a little weather blip on there so people can check out the weather. And a couple people messaged me and they're like, "Why did you do that?" And I'm like, "Well, it just seemed like something to do, on a website."
Yeah.
Not only that, like if you're going to be on the show like this weekend, you could look on the site and be like, "Oh, it's going to rain. I need to wear some." I don't know.
Yeah,
I
just
I
trying to
did it.
help people out.
Yeah, you can never be too informed. So
Right.
there you go.
Yes.
All
Yeah, I
right.
can.
Fair enough. All right. Let's go ahead and check out track 3 in our Reba McEntire classic album Clash.
But fancy was my name.
All right. We've got Bobby, which was the B-side to For My Broken Heart, the single. So before I give too much away, I'm going to just go ahead and continue on throwing over to Joshua and see what his initial thoughts are.
Well, so to me, Bobby is your classic country murder song.
Yes, it is.
So it's kind of a euthanasia, kind of kill somebody who's at the end of their life. So, that's what kind of struck it for me. Also, the other song, I Won't Stand in Line, was kind of a country gospel, and I don't think that she fit that. She was a little too white to have a black choir singing behind her. It's just like one of these things is not like the other.
I
You know
will,
what I'm saying?
I do. I really
Okay.
do. Actually, so I'll go ahead and read my notes
Okay.
for I Won't Stand in Line. I won't give my answer away yet, but
she has a great voice, but it just did not gel well for me with that.
so my notes say upbeat and backup choir, meh.
I thought the
'Cause
backup choir was great.
Meaning meaning that
stand in line.
Yeah.
yes.
I can hear it.
Yeah. So
Now that you
I
say that.
but I'm like you, like I like the idea of a choir. I like the idea of Reba doing the song, but the two together just seems
Right.
like kind of weird. Not
Right.
It doesn't go together the same way the saxophone did. Okay, I got nothing. All right. So you're going with which one?
I am going with Bobby because I want to see someone die in a country album.
Well,
I
they're
really
already
do.
dead, by the way, by the start of the song. So
Yeah, but it was about
oh yeah.
Bobby who killed him. So
No, who what?
killed them.
Killed them who?
The old person that was at the end of the line.
He also in the beginning of the song killed his wife.
yeah, he killed a lot of people.
Oh, Bobby.
Bobby. But his wife was like on her last legs, though, wasn't she? She was.
Oh my God.
All I know is that there was a lot
This
of.
feels like
murder
a
in
heat of the
there.
night episode.
It
Am I
was.
right?
Yeah.
I did have to listen to that song a few times to
To get it. Yeah.
understand what was happening.
Same.
Really, I'm
I
like,
actually
wait,
had
are
to
they really?
listen. I had to listen to it as I was reading the lyrics, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand not having you around, even though I'm the one
Even
who
though you're
took your
dead.
life.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It really
But
is.
yeah, that fit more country.
my one of my notes on there is creepy.
Yes, it's very
Yes.
creepy.
I have such extended notes.
This
It's-
album has a lot of death in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the night the lights went out,
Yeah.
lights went out in Georgia.
Well, so and here's the thing. She is like, so we argued kind of this week about the Queen of Country title. I will definitively say she is really good at storytelling, but most of her songs are about like breakups and death and those heart-wrenching, sensitive, emotional kind of stories.
Right.
So that is what I will say she is definitely the queen of. So let's Mike McWhorter says, was the outhouse really that nasty, Becky?
No.
Yes, we're hitting
There
a hard.
was no out. I mean, it wasn't. It was
Right.
Fine. It was fine.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
It smelled like cedar.
oh, never mind. I'm just gonna move on from that one. Howdy, Kanita Silva. Thanks for joining us on this fun little country episode. Hope you'll join in here with us with some votes. Liz Deck says, Bobby. All right. So Chelsey, which song are you going with?
It's got to be I Won't Stand in Line for me personally. It's again, I love the sassy Reba, like just telling it to a man how it is.
And she's got a posse behind her.
Sometimes it's just got to happen. Absolutely. Just got to tell your man.
Really, Bobby, yeah, that was weird. That's a weird story to me. Wait, does someone else die at the end of the song?
It's so a lot of her
kills
songs.
The dad?
I thought the dad was in prison.
The dad's in prison.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So to answer that, because that's actually a really good question. A lot of her songs will be one verse is about something using these words. The next verse is about something totally different, but kind of using the same words with a twist. So the twist is he killed his wife and then he gets killed in prison. Is that right?
I don't know.
I
just know.
I know. It's so
I'm
weird.
Not sure.
I don't know.
The ending is, I guess she wants you to make your own conclusion, maybe.
There
But
how artistic.
Yeah. It was just an odd message to me.
Yeah.
But I love I Won't Stand in Line. I think it's fun. I kind of like the choir myself, but I can see what you're saying about how it kind of, is a weird pairing. But
the other weird part, like I said, is it's the B-side to From My Broken Heart. I'm like, well, that took a turn.
Yeah.
Everybody died in a plane crash. All my bandmates are gone.
Yeah.
Let's talk about murdering somebody. By the way, this is of both of these albums today. Bobby is the only song that Reba McEntire helped co-write. Everything else was already written for her. So there's that. So Reba had some stuff going on in her life. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's just.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder. Like I after this, listening something like this, I want to say, like, what was your favorite movie at the time? Like, what genre? Where were you living? Like, were you watching horror films? So
yeah, that's fair. So what about you, Jonna? What
Well, based on the story stuff, like I agree with Chelsey on, like, I love me a good song where it's just like, I'm a woman and you can step out of the way. But in the end, he says, I'll never let you down. And so from a perspective of Fancy, I feel like Bobby and Fancy, they didn't want to let their daddies and their mamas down. So
there you go.
And also I like strange songs and strange stories.
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right. Doesn't get any stranger for Reba than Bobby.
And then she co-wrote this. So
yeah.
Then you're like, who is this woman?
Right? Yeah.
It's all a lie.
It's not all dimples and sunshine. Yeah, she's got some stuff going on. I'm also going to agree and go with Bobby. I just, in general, like, I liked the upbeatness of I Won't Stand in Line. But like I said, the mashup with the choir and stuff just seemed kind of odd. I'm like, you could be a strong, powerful woman. You don't have to have a whole choir. You can be independent.
No, but you do. But you should always have a choir singing behind you.
Oh, well,
As
maybe
a strong, powerful woman.
Well, see, I'm not a strong, powerful woman, so I kind of missed that memo. But you might be right.
I would love to record a song with a choir.
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool. I don't know what it would be, but
Madonna comes to mind right now.
Huh?
Donna?
Madonna.
Oh, Madonna.
I'm like,
Madonna.
Who's Donna?
Sorry. No, Madonna. All of a sudden, I'm just like, Madonna. I don't know. It was like a prayer.
Yes. Well, Carrie Underwood did this choir live version of Church Bells. Her Church Bells song. Anyway, it was so cool. I like the choir. I'm outnumbered, I guess.
Well, I won't say that you're outnumbered. I get the idea and the concept of what you like, though, because for me, I've always thought it would be cool to record with an orchestra, like with a full string kind of thing. So I get what you mean. Like, you like that full, big, kind of powerful sounding sound.
Yes.
I get you. So let's go over here to the comments. All right. Liz Deck says Bobby. Cindy says Joshua needs someone dead. Go for Dixie Chicks. Goodbye, Earl. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Earl had to die. Cindy Lucas says, I just read that. Chris Hankin says Joshua was talking about the wife as well as an old horse that needed to be put down. Okay, well, there you go.
Old horse?
Well, I mean, he's got a smiley face after that, so I don't know how legit that is, but it may have been. Brian says, I won't stand in line. I know you won't, Brian. Elkie says, Bobby. And Deborah says, Reba owned the 90s. The queen was Loretta. Is that a compromise? I'll take it, Deb. You got it. All right. Now then. So,
Jared, what was your pick?
Bobby. Yep. Bobby. Uh-oh. Are we in a tie? Nope. All right. So what's our total?
Our total is 5 for Bobby and 4 for Read My Mind for I Won't Stand in Line.
Gotcha. So between the people watching at home and the 4 of us, we need some more votes, by the way. Some of you guys are just watching right along and not voting. So be a part of the show. It's more fun that way. It really is. All right, let's go ahead and go to track number 4.
But fancy was my name.
Never gets old.
Right. Thank God. All right. So we've got He's in Dallas versus I Wish That I Could Tell You. All right. So Joshua, you're up first.
He's in Dallas is more memorable to me. And I wish that I could tell you. My mind wandered. It didn't hold my attention. So He's in Dallas.
Okay. So I'll give a little tidbit here. So He's in Dallas. So this is about a new couple from the Appalachian Mountains, and he convinces her, hey, let's move to Dallas and we'll start a life down there. And turns out he parties too much. He's living the nightlife too much. And so they have a baby, and she ends up leaving him. She and the baby go back home to Appalachia, and she is like very shameful and very worried about what her family, and because she's going to go live back with her mom, what her perception is going to be. And so she feels really ashamed of all that. And so that's kind of the synopsis of the song. But she talks about like, but he's still in Dallas kind of thing, which if you're very familiar with Reba McEntire, it's a lot like the song Whoever's in New England as far as the story. So to which I prefer Whoever's in New England by a landslide. I wish that I could tell you. I have, for my notes, I've got the chorus written down. I don't know how to help you. I wish that I could tell you how to tell me goodbye. So sometimes it's about, and I've been in a relationship like that before, where it's like, it probably isn't going anywhere, but nobody wants to say, okay, let's call it, and let's go our separate ways. So it kind of speaks to that. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and go with I Wish That I Could Tell You. Chelsey?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Both are good, although I think it's just a personal thing for me. I wish that I could tell you. Yeah, totally been in that scenario where you're like, you don't hate the person, you just know they're not right, and you just like don't want to hurt their feelings so bad,
right? And you kind of are going through the motions,
but they gotta go, and you're just like, I feel so bad,
right?
But
it's a hard position to be into. I think everybody's kind of been in it.
Even if they're a good person, sometimes it's just not right.
Right.
So yeah, for me, that one just struck me because I've been through that. So I wish that I could tell you. That's got my vote.
All right. Jonna, what do you think?
Well, both of these are really emotional. Like just even talking about them, and like I'm kind of trying not to cry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, seriously.
So I feel like if I was
told you she was the queen of sappy story.
Oh my God. Because I wish that I could tell you. I wish I hadn't been in that situation more than once.
Right. Same.
So, and then also, not that like He's in Dallas is not necessarily like the same. Because, okay, when I listen to songs, I totally dive into the story, and I'm like, okay, I put myself there. I just want to be there in the moment. I want to feel the story. It's also something I do with character development. I listen to lyrics, and I actually use lyrics from songs and to create characters. I do.
Yeah. That
so
would be considered
I
method acting, right?
That's not method,
sort of,
but it's a technique.
It is,
right?
So they both break my heart. I wish I could tell you is probably more relatable for me, but I'm going to vote for He's in Dallas because my birthday's on Easter, and I'm going to go hang out with my daddy who's in Dallas.
Oh, awesome! There you go.
And he's in Dallas.
He's in Dallas,
but he's doing okay. He's not living the nightlife. He's totally fine.
You hope you'll find out when you get there.
He's totally good. No. He's totally
have him bring back some salsa.
Yes, I will absolutely. I'm going to be
there
cooked
good
a feast.
salsa
A
there?
feast. And I went to college, and
I thought the good salsa was from New York City.
No, her dad makes some great salsa.
Oh yeah.
It's like you warm it up and then you drink it.
Well, hey, here's the deal. So if you're bringing some back for Joshua, don't leave me out.
All right,
Just saying.
I'll come. I'll watch Chelsea's weather show.
Names. Hey, it's all right. We all got.
Hey, you can say my name wrong now. It's fine.
Okay, Majana.
Or Dejana. I said it's like Jonna. It's like Donna with a J, and they're like, so Dejana. I'm like, no. No.
The D is mostly silent.
Oh my God, the D is mostly silent.
Oh,
Jonna.
I have to. This is like a 5-second story. It's super funny about this. Someone the other day, I was writing them a check, and their name was George's, their last name, and they go George's. So George with an S, and I go Sorge. And he's like, no, like an S at the end. And I'm like, okay.
Did you put an apostrophe in there?
So it'd be like Jonna.
Yeah.
Or Donna.
I'm like,
Well,
I didn't get
I've been in situations like that. Joshua asked if you put an apostrophe there. If it was me, I would have put a dot. And that way, if someone is like, well, there's supposed to be an apostrophe. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be that. Or if it's not, you can just be like, oh, my pen dropped.
Yeah.
It's very innocuous. Yeah. All right. And let's go over here to the comments. Deborah Klein says, does Buff Carell do any Reba? Good question. I actually don't know. I didn't research that, but if he does, we're going to have to find something to play.
Fancy. I bet he does a killer version of Fancy.
That's my Buff Carell impersonation. All right. If you know, you know. Both of the ladies here are like, what are you doing?
I have no
I'm
clue.
entertained.
Yeah, we should have rolled some beautiful Buff footage. All right. So Mike says, can't vote, not really into Reba. I'm just hoping that this turns into a discussion about Little House.
Not really into Reba. I don't even think that's a thing.
Well, here's a question, Mike. How are you into Little House that much, but you're not into Reba?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Little House, like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah. So, okay.
That's-
So again, I won't put you in the Tracy Lawrence situation. So one of our episodes, we did a greatest TV theme song episode.
Ooh, fun.
Little House was in on the brackets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And early on it lost. And Mike McCorder lost his stuff. He was like, how can it not be the winner? And so we always joke back and forth about Little House. But seriously, if you're that big of a fan of Little House, how are you not on board with Reba? Come on, Mike. Brian says, I wish that I could tell you.
Me
Is
and
his
Brian are like on the same wavelength.
Right?
We've been voting the same.
You have. And Elke also says her vote is I wish I could tell you. So
Yes.
Okay, this is funny, really quick,
Sure.
because I was thinking about Little House and I forgot what we were doing, and then
Same.
and then Brian's was I wish I could tell you, and I was like, wish you could tell us what, like why can't you tell us?
just
That's
tell us.
literally where I went. I was like, what did
Me
you tell?
too.
Why?
Just talk to us, Brian.
Just vote, dude. Why can't you tell us what your vote is? True story. Just
Save
happened right now.
space, Brian.
Love
Save
it. I
space.
love it. He's probably down in the wine cellar trying to figure it out live. Yeah. All right. So Deborah says, was Reba ever in an episode of Little House? No. Little House was filmed in the 70s. And let's see here. She would have been in her early
In the
20s,
80s.
mid 20s. Yeah.
It was filmed in
It
the
did
80s
go
too.
into the 80s, I guess. Yeah. No, I don't believe she was. I could be wrong, but no. We'll check her IMDb page. We'll see. All right. So let's go ahead and call that one. Joshua, where are we at on that?
It is I Wish I Could Tell You. And that is the first song from Read My Mind that has placed.
Wow.
Wow.
I think it's because it's relatable.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
so relatable.
I think so too. Mike says, you already knew this, Jared, but my cousin used to be married to what?
One of.
Oh, what? Thank you. Sometimes I'm really good
That
at reading
autocorrect.
autocorrection. Sometimes I'm not. Yes. His cousin used to be married to one of Reba's producers, Tony Brown.
Hook me
yeah.
up, Mike.
Right? For real. Make that connection.
Used to be married to. That may
Oh,
kind of.
ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they on good terms?
Yeah. You know how,
Right.
you divorced?
I'm just trying to check Facebook. God,
Oh, that's great.
what's happening?
Uh,
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stop.
Well, you can do it and just turn your volume down.
That's why, yeah.
Go for it, and it'll be awkward, and then we'll be over it.
I'm
It'll be
just-
good.
I'm just-
Okay.
It's
We'll
all
just
right.
wait on
I just
you.
wanted to.
There we go.
All right.
Brian says Jared does that all the time, so no worries. Fair enough. All right. So let's go. What are we on? Track
4?
No. Yeah, that was track 4.
Oh.
Let's take another little
commercial.
break and get some refills. Do whatever we need to do, and we're gonna keep going. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, hello, we're back.
fixing our hair. Hold on.
Yes, we were all doing a little primping.
Good.
You know.
Okay.
Yep, we're all good.
Okay.
All right. So, Mike McWhorter says, I haven't spoken to Tony in over 30 years. Sorry. I mean, we're all about making connections here on the Audio Roast. So,
Just out of luck, Mike. Really?
You know, if you really cared.
right. Yeah. What better reason to reach out?
That's right.
Hey, this is Mike McWhorter. I know it's been 30 years, but just trying to help out Chelsey James. So, you know, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
See, it's that easy.
I had like a long lost family member show up to one of my shows recently. It was
Oh, really?
someone I hadn't seen since I was like 6.
Really? Was it like, not to put you on the spot, was it like,
No.
oh, this is great? Or were you like,
You
oh,
know,
this
it
is
was
kind of
good.
weird?
It was someone that my aunt was married to, and I loved him, and they split up, and he showed up at my show, and I went up to him like, do you know who I am?
Oh, wow.
And he was like, well, yeah, I came to
You're
watch
like, "That's
you.
why I'm here."
I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
no, I could totally relate to that. I had growing up, I had an aunt that was married, and they divorced like, I mean, I was like 7 or 8, 10, somewhere in there. But like in the past couple of years, he just randomly added me on Facebook, and I'm like, no way, you remember who I am?
I know.
It's just weird how that happens, and
Yeah.
our perception of like, oh well, it's been so much time they've forgotten this, but
Oh yeah.
people make an impact on your life, especially family members and stuff. So,
Yep.
good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and keep on rolling with track number 5.
But fancy was my name.
All right, so we've got All Dressed Up with Nowhere to Go versus She Thinks His Name Was John. All right, Joshua, let's go ahead and let you kick it off here and give us your thoughts.
Okay, so All Dressed Up and No Place to Go will make you want to visit someone's grandmother in a nursing home.
Yes,
It is sad.
it is
It is
ungodly sad.
it is a downer, but a great song.
Yes, it is.
Makes you, I mean, my grandparents are all passed away, but I felt like, you know, just stopping by and visiting.
For sure.
And She Thinks His Name Is John. Should have been titled I Think She's a Slut.
Oh my God, wait till you hear what the song's about.
Oh my God. Well, okay, she talks about there's been many men in her life. Some she can't recall.
Uh-huh.
And she was drunk one night and she
This is
can't
great.
remember the guy's name, but I think his name is John.
Yeah.
That says slut to me.
The odds of his name being John is pretty good too. If you just,
Right.
I mean,
Holy cow, I'm dying over here.
Okay, am I totally off base? But that's what it sounded like to me.
You're not off base at all. You're just not as politically correct. That's what the
Okay.
message was. So, all right, before I
It wasn't about female empowerment. It was about sleeping around. That's really what it was about.
No choir on this one.
no choir required.
no.
Okay, so what is your vote here? Before I give you
I'm
any
gonna
details.
go with the more wholesome song.
Okay.
And I think the name Sean. No, I'm gonna go with
Since it's Sunday.
All Dressed Up.
Right.
Yes,
All
All
right.
Dressed Up, and go see your grandma. She cares.
That's
Deborah's-
right.
She's waiting on you.
Deborah's
That's right.
about to educate us, I think.
Is she?
Okay. All right. So yeah, before she educates.
Anybody who doesn't vote for All Dressed Up hates grandparents.
Oh my God.
I'm throwing the gauntlet down. You're saying old people need to be shut away.
All right. So
Or euthanized if we're talking about
No, that's for Bobby. That's Bobby.
talking about Bobby.
what about Grandpa Bobby?
Well, Grandpa Bobby will die sometime.
I gotta not try to drink coffee whenever you're telling jokes. All right. All Dressed Up with Nowhere to Go is, as Joshua alluded to, about an older lady who's living in a retirement home. Her name is Ruby Wilson. And nobody comes to visit Ruby. Every day at 9:00, she sits in the lobby waiting to see if anybody's going to come visit her. She gets all dressed up in her best hat and her best gloves. And waits to see if anybody's going to show up or whatever. When they have like their community dinners and stuff, everybody's got their family. She sits at a table and insists to her waitress that they're just running late. They'll be here eventually. And it is a heart-wrenching song. It's ungodly sad. And even like Joshua said, like your grandparents have passed, but there's something about grandparents that is relatable. Even if you have not had grandparents since you were a baby, or if you have had it your whole life, there's just something relatable about it, even if you don't have them still. So I totally understand where you're coming from on that. All right, now then, for the elephant in the room. She Thinks His Name Was John is the second single from Read My Mind. And it gained a lot of controversy and attention as the song was written as a way to put a spotlight on people that were passing away from AIDS. So it was written by Sandy Knox, who was one of the writers of the song, and her brother actually passed away from AIDS. So this was kind of her way to express that. And yes, the song is about her having a one-night stand and not knowing who it was that infected her. And it was this, I mean, there was so much controversy around this because remember the big AIDS epidemic in the 80s. And now we're just in the mid 90s. So it's still kind of a fresh wound.
The first line in the song is she can't account for all the men in her past.
Yep. I mean, so you're saying, you're saying Joshua Poole, it's not relatable to you to not be able to count all the men in your past. Is that what you're saying?
There are no men in my past.
Oh.
But
I'm like, I find this song pretty damn relatable.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sure you can account.
Well, on the people of the past part, not the AIDS part. Oh my God.
But wouldn't it be ironic if the old lady in the nursing home was the same woman and she has Alzheimer's and she can't remember his name?
Oh, this is feeling like the Notebook.
That's what
his
I'm doing
name is John because she's so old.
Oh my God, this is weird.
She's waiting.
Now this really feels like a Marvel movie.
She's waiting for these old guys to visit her from her past.
Oh my God.
I think his name is John.
Oh
my God. What are we doing?
Yeah, this is what I do. I take I pull them together, big story. Yeah,
she's not waiting for her family. She's waiting for all those men that she's had in the past.
Look at Chelsey. She's just like, I can't even.
So you're making a movie out of the different scenes.
I
right
am.
Now. Yep.
Yeah, this old Biddy's wanting some action.
Yeah, this
old Biddy. This poor lonely lady is now an old Biddy, according to you.
She is. She's a slutty old chick.
definitely a different perspective on nursing homes. Now.
Holy cow!
Have you heard about the AIDS? The venereal disease statistics in nursing homes nowadays?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's skyrocketing.
It's nuts.
Is this a thing? Are you
It
serious?
is. Yeah. The little blue pill has increased.
Yeah. Sadly, it is.
My sister is a labor and delivery nurse, and I hear
in a nursing home.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, no, but so that's on a different side.
My sister is a
labor and delivery nurse. I'm sorry.
Enter paragraph tab new.
I heard you say that, and I was like, oh, I heard with the new mothers coming in, lots of issues. But yes, some of my acting students do work in nursing homes, and I have heard that, and it is real.
Yes. Yeah, it's creepy.
Well, learn something new every day.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't wish you knew
I'm
those.
Disturbed a little bit.
Speaking of which, Deborah says, song was about. I'm just now realizing that Reba sang a lot of morbid songs. She did. Yeah. She sure did.
But it's country.
You got to read the lyrics, guys. Like, get into it. Like, understand.
That's right.
I always pull up lyrics when I'm singing along with the songs. I'm like, what do I
yeah. Like? I did the John song. I did have to listen to it, but I never would have guessed it was about AIDS. I mean, you can't really tell by just
vague.
The lyrics, but
Pretty vague.
I guess if you were, back during that time, you may make the connection. But yeah, that's interesting.
So Chelsey, which direction are you going with? Are you going with grandma or are you going with
I'm definitely going with grandma now.
Oh God.
Yeah, all dressed up with nowhere to go. Golly, that made me so sad. I was listening to it again today.
Yeah.
It made me so sad because I'm
really surprised that wasn't a single, by the way.
Yeah. I'm surprised the John one was a single, right? You said it was a single?
It was. It peaked at number 15 on the charts, by the way.
Well, I just think of all the times when I was little and my parents would force me to go to the nursing home, and it always kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I hate myself for that now.
You shouldn't.
It's like when you're an adult, you start seeing things differently, and it's like, oh, I should have wanted to go visit my great grandma.
But that's kind of and this seems like a weird word to use for that, but that's the magic of life too, because even right now, as you sit here at your age now, and in another 20 years, like you'll be like, oh man, I thought this. Like it's a constant evolution.
That's kind of scary. That is, I mean, now that you say that, it's like you think, I'm turning 28 this week. You think, oh, by this point, I know a lot.
Yeah, no, just
but
I mean,
the fact that
more to come. There's more.
The fact that you're saying I may not. I'm kind of scared now.
Well, I mean,
what else is there?
Well, is there life out there?
I haven't had kids yet. I'm sure that'll be a life, a learning experience for sure.
Oh yeah, with no handbook. All right. So Chelsea's going with all dressed up
They're
and nowhere
all
to go.
named John.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, I don't think this one is it. This isn't fair because I feel like this. I'm having a very difficult time choosing. Again, I just immerse myself in the story, and I think both of the stories are so sad in their own way, and they're powerful and important.
Yep.
And okay, just short story.
I love it.
My grandmother, my mother's mother, she lived here in Springfield, and my grandfather, he made a church. He was a pastor at a church. He died a long time ago. Well, she ended up getting dementia, and my mom had to take care of her. And we had to just slowly see her, kind of fade away and pass away in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And so when we visited her, obviously she was worse every time. But she was so particular about how she dressed, especially, ladies in their 50s, and just like,
Everything has a place and everything's prim and proper.
And we were, here we go. We were in the room with her, our whole family, just holding her hand as she was taking her last breaths. And this was one of the first times I was in a room with someone when they really died.
Yeah.
Like died in that moment.
Right.
And I was just writing poetry while it was happening. And I ended up turning that poem into a song about her dying that I sang at her funeral.
Oh, wow.
So like, it's
that
hard.
hits home.
It's
for
hard
you.
for me, but it's hard for me to listen to this song because it's just it's like, oh, this is too close, too soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for reasons I will not disclose, the other one has a lot of personal, I have lots of, and so I'm like, but I think like for like the way that she sings it in the storytelling part, I'm gonna go with She Thinks His Name Was John.
Yeah, I think, and I agree with the story part because it does. It's a very like what Joshua, like it's an obvious what the story is about, but the way that she handles it is very delicate and very she makes it kind of like to where you can understand their perspective. If that's not how you live your life, if that's not your lifestyle, you can kind of be like, okay, well, I won't judge that so much, but I kind of get it. I think that's kind of how I took the song.
And I'm really impressed that, she didn't write it, but I'm impressed that she sang it.
Yeah, and I think you summed it up exactly so. It's an important song that needs to be heard. I thought it was interesting because Reba's not one of those like fly the flag kind of gals, and I'm for, all these heavy hitting messages, but for some reason that one she was, and I thought that was really cool of her. So I'm also going to go with She Thinks His Name Was John.
So you're saying you hate old people?
I do not. I actually really love All Dressed Up with Nowhere to Go. But man, here's
don't like old people enough to vote for that song.
Oh my gosh, Josh, stop it.
Right. Here's the thing. She Thinks His Name Was
do.
John was a single. So that was radio played. So I grew up listening to that song.
Okay.
It wasn't until like I actually listened to the album and heard All Dressed Up with Nowhere to Go. So again, kind of like we talked about this morning, I'm kind of dipping in nostalgia too.
I am unencumbered by that.
Yeah. Which, that would be kind
That's
of
a good word.
nice.
So, what's that word again?
Unencumbered.
I don't use that enough.
Unencumbered.
I should use that more often in my life.
The password is unencumbered.
I feel very unencumbered right now.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, never mind. Unencumbered, and She Thinks His Name Was John. Yeah. All right, moving right along. Stephen Williams says She Thinks His Name Was John. Brian agrees. I hope you're writing these down. These are votes. I'm not reading that one out loud. We can't be reading that. Let's see here. Hashtag Podboy needs his own podcast. All right. Well,
That's right.
There you go. You go, Joshua.
I'll try.
Brian says, "Rest in peace, Terry." Terry who? Terry Brown? Was that the name from earlier?
Maybe I have it pulled up.
I don't know, but I'm like, oh God, please give me a last name because I'm freaking out. Oh no, all my comments just jumped all over the place.
No, it's Tony Brown was
Tony Brown. Okay, well, who the heck is Terry? You're making me nervous. Deborah Klein says they're all named John. Exactly. Barb says, how much coffee has Joshua drank? Well, actually,
it's just 2 cups so far, but this is me feeling comfortable.
Well, let's see here. Let's see if I can do this right. There you go. 2 cups.
Good job.
All right. Yeah. Well, I don't do all the button pushing, so it's kind of weird for me sometimes to jump back on there. Let's see here. Mike McCorder says, wow, okay, I'm voting for all dressed up and nowhere to go. Teary-eyed. I had spicy foods last week. God.
What's that have to do?
What the brutality. That means, spicy food. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he needs his own podcast, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mike says, my job has me in nursing homes a lot, and this is so true on every level. Yeah, it really is. And I'm sure, especially right now during COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had an individual that was in a nursing facility.
Yeah.
And
it's hard, man.
The most they could do were like Zoom calls and what they call window visits.
Yeah,
where
I've seen some of that on Facebook. Oh,
dude.
I mean,
yeah,
that's one of those things. Like if I sit here and really think about that too much or visualize it, like I'll be a freaking mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go see whoever's important to you. And if nothing else, and I mean this, if nothing else, pick up the phone. It's just having somebody to talk to and having something to look forward to. But I don't want to get too far into that because I'll start crying like a little girl.
Right.
Okay. So Chet Smith says, this podcast is breaking my heart. Time to liven this up. Exactly. All right. So let's see here. Oh, man, why do my comments keep jumping all over the place? Deborah Klein says, I love dress up. Makes you feel good. Oh, I love to dress up. It makes you feel good. I agree with that. I grew up doing that just with nowhere to go. But exactly so. It just makes you feel good. Elke's vote is she thinks his name was John. Terry Lawson. Gotcha. I didn't realize that Terry had passed away. Or did he pass away recently?
I don't know.
I don't know. Liz, let me know. Fill me in on this. I feel like I'm missing some information here. Okay, good. Brian said, no, it's not, because he knew where I was going with that. Oh, it was this week. Really? Wow. Okay. Well, I'm trying to put these puzzle pieces together and all these different comments. Brian says a longtime family friend of his died from AIDS. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It's a sad thing for them to go through, but the people around them as well. Same as cancer and stuff. I mean, some of those are just gut-wrenching stories. Mark says, I've been tested over 40 times for COVID working in the assisted living facility. Yeah, shout out to you, Mark. I know it's not easy clocking in at work every day during COVID in a situation like that. So good on you for doing it. Back in the early 90s. Okay. Yeah, he died last year. That's what I thought. I was like, okay. We're good. All right. Moving on. Like Chet said, let's liven this thing up. All right. So we've got how many votes for what?
We've got 5-3. And she thinks his name was John. Won that one.
That's what. All right.
All you people hate old people.
No,
next one.
All right. Next one we've got. All right. Here we go. The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia versus Why Haven't I Heard From You? Man, oh man. Two really good songs.
Yeah.
Joshua.
At least one.
Oh, here we go. All right. Let's hear it.
Okay. So the Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Brian says, find a happy song. You do realize that we're doing Reba McEntire.
Yeah, we're doing
right?
another murder song on this one. So The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia is a remake from Vicki Lawrence.
As in Vicki Lawrence, by the way.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sure enough.
Was she actually in the Carol Burnett show at the time when she recorded this?
So she recorded this, I want to say in 72 or 73, I think. I can't remember. Again, Reba research, it's all jumbled up there somewhere. So it was Vicki Lawrence's husband that wrote the song. And actually, so before we go too far into this, I've got a little video clip and I want to play that. So Josh, can you put us in full screen?
So I did the demo. He took it to his producer, Snuff Garrett, who said, let's give it to Liza Minnelli. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, my God, no, this is not right for Liza. Then they said, well, we'll send it over to Cher. Cher never heard it. Sonny heard it, said this will offend everybody in the southern half of the country. It must be rewritten. My ex-husband said, I never liked it to begin with. Why would I rewrite it? So Snuff said, well, the hell with it. We'll just go in the studio and do it with Vicki. That's how I got my one and only hit record, and it was the ultimate demise of an already doomed marriage, you understand? So that was the end of my recording career. Now, how did you find the song?
Well, after we'd done Fancy, Tony Brown and I were sitting in my office at home, and he said, man, I wish we could find a song that was just a smash hit like Fancy was. And And I looked over at my credenza, and I picked up this tape, and it was a song. It was a tape that had one song on it. And I looked at it, and I said, how about this one? He looked at it and said, that's the night the lights went out in Georgia. He said, that's great.
Well, what was the tape with just that one song doing on sitting over there?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's spooky. Anyway.
It is. They saw it happen that way.
I get to do it with you now.
Great.
We'll do your version from the 90s.
Very cool. Yeah. So Vicki Lawrence recorded that originally. Like she said, even it was her husband that wrote it, and so they shopped it around to like Liza Minnelli, several different singers, and nobody was taking it. And finally, she was like, "I'll do it." Yeah. So there was her one hit. Okay, so continue.
So I like that one. It's a classic song. Everyone kind of knows that song, and I think the guitar work on that is great.
Yeah,
and probably Tell Me Why is probably
Why Haven't I Heard From You?
Yeah, Why I Haven't Heard From You is probably the most recognizable, I think, for me on this whole list of her stuff.
That was a very poppy kind of song,
Yes.
so I understand what you're saying with that.
It had a lot of crossover appeal.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just straight blues. And again, the black choir behind her.
See, and I find that one more fitting with the choir.
It's more fitting. Yes, it
Yeah.
doesn't stick out as bad. But
Right.
after hearing the first one with the black choir behind her, it just
Why does the choir have to be black with you? What is the deal with
because
that?
it's a black choir.
It
You
is a
can
black
tell.
choir. It is.
It's not about race. It's
Oh my
about-
God.
That's the best kind of choir.
It
really.
is.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
But anyway, to me, it was paint by the numbers blues, and I'm not I like blues, but I'm not a huge blues fan. So
Same.
it just didn't strike me as much. I don't think it was as well written as The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Yeah.
And more murder. Gotta love it.
Right? Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. So obviously,
And it's referenced in Reservoir Dogs.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Um,
If you're a movie fan.
Well, also, so not only did Vicki Lawrence do the song originally, but the after Reba recorded it, there was a movie made about it with Dennis Quaid, I think was who was in it. So The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia peaked at number 12, and Why Haven't I Heard From You peaked at number 5.
Oh.
So
12,
there's that.
that's it?
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
That is, I'm shocked at that.
That's country
It's a
music in
better song.
1991 was all on fire, though. That was a
I'd
big
like to
year.
know what was number one
Same.
that with that song
Right?
being 12.
Very interesting. Okay, so Joshua, you're going with Georgia.
The Night.
All right.
Lights Went Out in Georgia.
All right. Chelsey, what do you think?
Well, it's evil to pair these two up, in my opinion. Because these, I don't know. They're both top favorites of all time of mine, just in general.
These are like really, really good Reba songs. They really
Yeah.
are.
I just have to say, and Why Haven't I Heard From You, which I have covered before at some shows, and I probably will do it again. But I just love that the song she's basically saying, like, if you haven't called me, it better be because you've died in a flood.
Basically, yeah. Now, even though the means of all these are like totally outdated, she talks about a car phone and a bag phone and a cell phone and a pay phone, and I'm like, well, you got one that's still left.
Yeah. So I love sassy Reba more than anything.
Yeah.
But which it's crazy to me that this song charted higher than Georgia.
Yeah, it really blows my mind
Because that song is just legendary.
I think sometimes timing is everything too. It's all
my
about who else is on the charts and
Yes.
yeah.
But as much as it pains me to have to choose between the two, I'm gonna have to go with Night Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Okay.
It's just that song will live forever.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's sassy Reba versus murderous Reba.
Yeah,
Right?
Murder Reba wins this one.
And
for
she
me.
seems
Right.
so sweet and
Yeah.
unassuming.
Absolutely.
Little sister doesn't miss when she aims her
I
gun.
love
right.
that part.
I mean to
man.
tell you, that's a
Oh.
goosebump moment
Yes.
every
Everybody
time.
thought brother did it,
Yes.
but it
Yep.
was little sister.
And
Mhm.
it's like also what
She killed two people, Andy
Yeah.
and a cheating
Right.
wife.
Yeah.
I love
that
it.
that line
'Cause
reminds
I would
me
too.
that line reminds me a lot of her delivery of I might have been born just plain white trash, but fancy was my name. It's the same kind of like, you better look out for me and
Just
don't overlook me. That's that
totally-
same kind of delivery.
Yes.
I love it.
You know what I don't get though about the Georgia is it's like well, I just didn't get there in time to tell him that I actually killed him. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Right. Yeah. You're exactly
Sorry.
right. Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Didn't make it in time.
Don't trials take like months?
Yeah.
Well, not with a crooked cop and a crooked judge.
Damn the
I mean,
timing.
it was so quick. They're like, "Hey, I got dinner back home, and it's getting cold. Let's wrap this up."
Hang him. Let's go.
But you
Right.
gotta panel a jury. I mean, that takes at least a day or two.
Only if it's a jury trial, not if it's a. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
bench
Yeah.
verdict.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I've never been in trouble, so I don't know
Don't
nothing
trust
about
your
it.
soul to a Southern lawyer.
Backwoods
Yeah.
Southern
Backwoods
lawyer.
Southern lawyer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
Okay, I know way too much about that song.
same. All right. We've got Chelsey with a vote for Georgia. I've got a vote for Georgia. You've got a vote for Georgia. Jonna.
So I have to say the Why Haven't I Heard From You is probably one of the most accurate, especially a woman from the 90s, attitudes, just representing like how, like, why aren't you like, just, we all do that. And I don't think it's just a woman thing.
Well,
I don't think it's just
not.
a woman
It's
thing.
not. And so it's kind of like being ghosted before that was a term.
Then especially now, like people, this is, I mean, we could probably just go on forever about people's excuses with cell phones now. Like, but like my service was bad or like I didn't get the text. I don't know. Like it just didn't come through or whatever. But yeah, that's a very frustrating.
That's why you send it in Messenger, because you can tell when they've seen it.
So, yeah.
Yes,
or
sir.
or Snapchat.
Yeah.
So so I love the story. I love the idea. I love the blues. However, I am obsessed with how she found this song. And I am crazy about the fact that it's like this, comedian songwriter. Like she's like, yeah, I'm like my whole like divorce, like totally like lost my marriage over this song, and like it was terrible. And then Reba's like, I'll make it famous for you. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, right.
So-
well, and then Vicky's like, yeah, let's sing your version.
Yeah. I mean, just that alone.
Yep.
It's Georgia.
Fair enough. Speaking of judges and cell phones and all this kind of stuff, so totally off subject, I saw the most interesting YouTube video this week, and it was about, of course, during COVID and stuff, your jury trials and all that kind of stuff are being done by Zoom. At least this one was. And it was like this guy and his girlfriend or then girlfriend or whatever, and there was a domestic abuse case or whatever. Well, it turns out that they were in the same place, and you're not supposed to do that because there's, he could be holding a gun off camera and making her say, nope, he didn't do anything. And so long story short, the judge kind of figures this out because of her lawyer. And she's like, no, I have reason to believe they're in the same place. He says, hey, go outside and show me the house number to the guy. And he's like, oh, why? I'm on 2% battery and my cord won't reach and all this stuff. It was totally full of crap. And the judge was right. And they were in the same place. So yeah, it was crazy.
I saw that too.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So that's my jury and cell phone story for the week. Let's go ahead and go to the comments and see what you guys think. Brian says, find a happy song. Yeah. Well, I haven't heard from you, Brian. That's as happy as I've got so far. Liz Deck says, gotta go nights, the lights. I like that. Barb says, I'm beginning to think that Reba doesn't have a happy song. She does. It comes later in her career. She's very bitter during all this 90s stuff.
But it's country too. I mean, country's
absolutely
very dour.
It's kind of the extremes, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm out on a pontoon and I'm drinking from a red Solo cup, or my dog just died, my truck won't start. Yeah, right. I don't know, all the cliches. I had to say it. We're doing a country episode. All right, got that out of the way. Deb Klein says, I know the night the lights went out in Georgia. Vicki Lawrence did it. She was in Carol Burnett and she was Mama. Correct. Brian says the night the lights went out in Georgia. I scrolled too fast. Elke also agrees with that. Deb says, why haven't I heard from you? So cheesy. My vote, the night the lights went out in Georgia. Yeah, and actually I love, even though it's cheesy as all get out, I love the video for Why Haven't I Heard From You, where she's like in the salon and they're all getting, made over and all this kind of stuff, and all the girls are on board with this. Yeah, why haven't I heard from you? Good stuff, man. I totally love the cheese element to all that. Cindy says Georgia as well. Classic, even though it was a remake. I agree. Yes. Okay. So they made the movie about it with Dennis Quaid. So that's correct. Elke says, yes, Joshua Poole and Reservoir Dogs movie. Easy for me to say.
Yep.
Dennis Quaid and Christy Nicole. That's a hard name to say. Nicole. And she's a redhead. Okay, well, okay. Oh, gotcha. Because
It's Christy McNichol.
Yeah, McNichol. Okay, there you go. I have no idea who she is. Terry Jones is with us. Thank God. When somebody said rest in peace, Terry, that's where I went. So, Terry, glad you're here with us. All this Reba death murder talk. I'm glad to see you. Terry says, "Who's Reba?" I don't know. I think she sang in Guns N' Roses or something. Liz Deck says, "Sorry, lights went out in Georgia. Not giving you. You're totally fine. I got you. You're all good. Keep it coming." All right. So Joshua, where are we at?
It's a runaway, 10-1.
Ooh, 10-1. So the lights have gone out in Georgia. All right. So Georgia goes on, and we are ready for track number 7. No.
Commercial
break. Well, let's do it. Let's take another quickie, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Do you consider yourself a dreamer? Do you enjoy up close and personal deep dive interviews? Check out the Unsung Dreamers podcast, the musical journeys of the not so rich and famous. Join hosts Dan and Tara Fritz every Friday at 8 a.m. on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever podcasts are available. Or if you're looking for something more interactive, maybe you like to live life a little on the wild side, or maybe you're a screamer like Jared. Check out the Unsung Screamers live on Facebook and YouTube every Thursday evening at 7. Tune in and get your weekly dose of stories, tirades, and blah, blah, blah.
All right, so let's see if I can hit the right buttons. We are back indeed. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Chet says, special offer for any guest on that have been on Audio Roast. Contact Jared Isaacs, and we will schedule a day of shooting and get you a new profile picture to promote with. I will allocate my time and talent free of charge, only for guests of the podcast and free of charge. Chet, that is so awesome. I think that's dude. You keep getting more and more awesome to me, and I appreciate that a lot. Hopefully somebody will take you up on that, because you're definitely worth their time. So for those of you watching, if you want a new profile picture or just a picture to hang above the mantle, perhaps, hit me up, and we'll make that happen. Chet, I think that's really awesome. All right, now then. Let's I think we're getting all settled back in here from our break, so let's go ahead and take this time to get to know Miss Jonna Volz. Let's see if I can hit all the right buttons on this. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Hey.
Hi.
All right, so we'll start from the top. Jonna, what is your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
Well, I haven't had a Pop-Tart in a really long time, but the first thing that came to mind was cherry with icing and sprinkles.
Oh yeah, nice.
But then whenever she said the cinnamon one, I was like, oh no, wait. I don't know. I'm an annoying gluten-free person now, so you know, even. But let's say cherry with sprinkles.
There you go. I like it.
Okay.
I am. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. I am camp fruit, meaning that I prefer the fruit flavored Pop-Tarts over the brown sugar cinnamon and of the like, you know, the chocolatiness. So all right. Do you play any instruments, by the way? That's a yes, but
I play on the guitar.
Okay.
I would not consider myself a guitar player. So if I practice more, like started teaching myself back in 2003.
Oh, cool.
And then from, years later, I did my songwriting days. So I was able to, you can only do so many chord progressions without doing bar chords. I hate bar chords. I hate B chords. So I can play guitar enough, or I used to write like 25, 30 songs. And then I just would bring in other people, or just capo it down, and it would be the same chord progression.
Gotcha.
So I was like, all my songs sound the same. So maybe
I can understand that.
So
I don't play guitar, but I play piano. Well, I won't even say that. I play keyboards because when you say play piano, it's like, oh, you can walk into a restaurant and there's a piano. You go,
yeah.
And I cannot. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get you.
Ukulele, I wrote a couple songs on ukulele, and that was kind of fun. But I'm not doing that as much as I used to. So I was.
Well, ukulele has the opposite effect of Reba. Like by nature, you're going to end up writing like a peppy, upbeat kind of song.
Or your sad song's going to sound peppy and upbeat.
Which is always an interesting thing too.
Yeah.
So is there any instrument besides piano and ukulele and some guitar that you wish that you could play?
Oh, piano for
Piano,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, I'm obsessed with the violin, but I'd rather like people play the violin around me and to me. And,
Right.
like,
So you can
serenade me with
focus
it.
on like this is so
Mhm,
nice. Yeah.
mhm. I love listening to that in the cello, but I'm kind of I love you, Mom. So I used to be really angry at my mom when I was young.
Who hasn't been?
Well,
We've been
no,
angry at your
I
mom
had
forever.
I had lessons when I was younger, and then I was like, "Ugh, I don't like my piano teacher. I don't want to do this." And she's like, "Okay." And then I never had another lesson.
Oh no.
So then we had like this baby grand in our house for a while, and me and my siblings, we would just listen to music and then try to figure it out on the piano. Because we wanted to, but and she could just like play chords in church and just like improvise. And oh yeah, I want to play the piano, but I
get you.
And can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Was that because you had so many talented musicians around you when you were growing up?
So
That's like, I'm never going to reach that because
no.
you guys had John Lowry, you had Jonathan David Brown.
Right. So why
Keith
couldn't
Green.
we play instruments? This is my question. How can you have some of the most famous musicians in your basement and you can't play an instrument? Why did I have to teach myself guitar in 2003? Like,
right.
My mother and I need to go to therapy over this.
Well, but here, so I can kind of relate to some of this because my dad is a drummer and I had to take drum lessons from somebody else. Like,
well, but that's different. That's different from.
True. I mean, yeah, true. My dad did not have the success that your dad did, but I get where you're.
That's not what I mean.
Oh.
I mean, it's very common for kids to want to learn from other people than their parents.
Gotcha.
But the parents need to make sure they're going to the lessons. But okay. So now I have to backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
I was an incredibly busy kid. So my mom was like, you can't do ballet and do theater and do acting classes and also go in the studio and be a studio singer. There's no time to teach you piano.
Right.
Oh, so I could probably give her a little pass on that one.
That's fair. I want to jump to this comment because I've got something to say too. So Terry says, Camp Fruit. And just like that, Jared has a new nickname. And Cindy thinks it needs to be a new t-shirt.
Camp as like in the genre camp?
No.
Campy.
Okay. So what's funny about what John is saying here is, and I think I might have said this once before on the show here, so forgive me if you've heard this, but as a kid, I also was a very busy kid, but mine was like more sports and that kind of thing. So I did like bowling and soccer and baseball and basketball, a lot of basketball, all this kind of stuff. I played viola and trumpet in school, all these things.
Do so much.
Well, and that's the thing. So my mom asked me one time, and this is so funny. She's like, would you like to take piano lessons? And internally, I'm like, yes, like I would love to be able to play piano. And my response was, no, that's too girly. And here we are. I play keyboards. So there you go. All right. So let's see here. I would ask you what you would want to be if you followed your childhood dream. Is it anything different from what you're doing?
Ballerina.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, I started out in ballet and dance, and I when I started to finally do acting, at a very young age, I was like, I'm going to be a ballerina, and I'm just going to do some acting on the side. It's fine. Like, I'm going to be a dancer. And so, but yeah, ballet is kind of like the love that got away, because
Gotcha.
I did have to choose. My mom did say, you're 16 years old, you have an agent, you're traveling, you're booking. Like, I can't take you to all of the things. You have to choose.
Well, and as a mom now, like you get the whole like playing taxi to your kids. That's a lot of work for a parent to have a kid that's involved in so much.
Yeah,
so
I had to choose. I mean, when I was 16, that was like, I guess I'll do acting.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and it's worked out well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, kind of. I guess.
kind of.
Sure.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the relationship between today's podcast and your experience with the fancy music video.
Okay.
All right. So you were how old? Where was it shot? Give us the setup of this.
Okay, I was 15 years old. I had just gotten an agent in Nashville when I was 14 year before, and I just been auditioning for stuff. I'd done a couple other music videos because in Nashville in the 90s, kind of like, and by 90s I mean like 90 and 91.
Right. Yep.
But so yeah, they just called me in, and I did the audition. It was an improv audition. I had not heard the song. I didn't listen to country music, and I was like, I'm here to work, but I do remember in the audition, they said, we want you to cry. Can you cry? Can you cry on command? And I was like, I think so. So they said, we just want you to walk away from the camera and then turn around, and pretend like you're saying goodbye to your mother, forever. And I did it, and I cried.
So
I had tears.
Yeah, so that was one of my questions that I had written down for you is, did you at the age, you said you were 15 at the time, did you understand the story behind the song at the time?
No.
Gotcha.
No.
I wondered that. I was like, she probably doesn't even know what it's all about.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yes, her mother was sending her away and she was, so technically I knew that, but at 15, I didn't
Did you realize what she was sending her away for or what to do?
Yes,
Okay.
I knew she was sending her away to, be a prostitute, basically.
Right.
But at that time, I didn't understand the gravity of it, like the heaviness of it.
Right. And then it was a last resort, last ditch effort kind of thing to let her daughter spread her wings and become somebody.
I mean, I got that to a degree that like a 15-year-old could understand something. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Ish.
So you auditioned for this, and were you living in Nashville or okay, gotcha.
Yeah. My dad, he was in a band that was really popular at the time, and so most of the band lived in Nashville, and so we ended up moving there when I was like 5.
Okay.
We lived in Springfield before, but then we moved to Nashville, so we were there for 10 years.
Wow. Okay. So I made the mistake, and whenever I asked you if you could be on the show, of like, oh yeah, surely she knows a lot of Reba songs. So I won't be so naive. I'll ask you, did you get a chance to meet Reba, and did you have any interaction? Okay. Because I mean, maybe some days you guys didn't even shoot the same days or something.
Correct.
So, okay.
It sounds like you listened to another podcast.
I actually have not, but I'm just like,
you did it?
No, I haven't. I've been too busy trying to, listen to Reba songs.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah.
That's true. So what I remember, it was just outside of Nashville, somewhere that was kind of just farmland, and we found this old house, and we had a trailer on the location. And so I was in the trailer. My scenes were shot on a Friday. I remember that. And then Reba was going to be filming on a Saturday.
Okay.
So I was sitting in the trailer, and they were doing my makeup and my hair. And I was just sitting there, like literally the lady's like putting the stuff on my face, and I'm just sitting still. And then Reba comes into the trailer, and she kind of like kneels down next to me, and she goes, "Hey there, little fancy." And then she just starts talking to me and asking me questions, and I'm kind of like, yeah, they're doing it. And then I heard her kind of go off into the corner, and she was so sweet. She's like, oh my God, she's perfect. She's
oh,
she's
cool.
saying all nice things.
So was she
about me.
asking you like just real life kind of questions and telling you those kind of things, or was it like,
I don't remember?
Gotcha. So let me ask you this then: did you have to get with her and pick up any Reba-isms or anything, or was it like you're just acting and you're both playing a different character anyway?
To be honest, maybe she had to like be me, because I was the younger one.
There you go.
I mean, I looked enough like her, and my hair was lighter. We had enough similarities.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe she was coming to kind of watch me. She stayed there on set and got pictures with me, and like hung out and talked to the director. And my mom and I, we kind of look at each other like, we're like, why didn't we get any pictures with Reba? We have pictures. And my mom said, 'cause she's my momager, she was on set at the time. She's like,
your momager.
We were just so focused on you working. I was like, yeah, I was just like focused on, this was my first dramatic
job. Yeah.
on camera job. And it's not, there's no dialogue, but it was a lot of emotional work, and it was all day.
Yeah.
It was like sunrise to sunset, like all day. And it was really, really cold because we filmed in February.
And it took how long? How many days?
Mine was just that one day.
Gotcha.
And then she shot hers the next day, which was raining. And then I didn't go and watch her film. I mean, it's like I wasn't invited, so I didn't go. I'm just the kid that got hired.
Right.
So so when I saw the music video, I was so surprised when I saw the cab driver, because that was my voiceover acting teacher. And I'm like,
stop it. Really?
Like, we were in the same music video. Yeah, Norm Woodell. He's still doing stuff and still Yeah, I was.
That's really cool. That's just like what Chelsey was saying earlier, like how she's got family members and stuff in one of her videos. Like it's just cool to see those connections and to know that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
It's just something that you have. Yeah.
No, like I was taking voice lessons with him that year. Like I'm telling you, between 15 and 16, I think I did all of the things in my life. So
well, honestly, I remember my 15, 16-year-old life, and that's like a highlight of my life. I'm like, man, those are like some of the best memories. So let me ask you this. If you were to go, let's say, to a Reba McEntire concert and you had backstage passes to see her, would you be able to just put that little smile on your face? And do you think she'd go, "Hi there, John, how are you?" and know who you are and the significance?
So. You know, the only reason I have the confidence to say yes is because I've had people, this has happened to me a few times, and even recently, and then like a few years ago in LA, I've walked into a room, walked in a room. One time I had bangs, one time I didn't. And somebody just saw me across the room and they were like, or Fancy could walk in the room. Or like I was having dinner with someone and the guy I was dating was kind of telling some like personal stories. And I was like, hey, can we just, okay. So by the way, this is really personal. So because he goes, can I tell him? Can I tell him? And I was like, you just told him like a bunch of personal stuff and now I'm going to tell him. And so he's like, I said, okay, so, there's this video and the guy goes, I know. I went, wait a minute. You know what? He's like, wow. I know you're in the video. What? I didn't even say a word and I'm going.
Now, do you think that's because people recognize you or do you think it's because people hear the story? Because I didn't know, I heard the story is how I knew.
I think some people recognize me, which is shocking to me because like I'm almost 46 and so this is 30 years ago.
Right.
Obviously I'm older. I mean, I'm like, hello.
Well, and the bangs.
Yeah, I know. So,
and shout out to the 90s bangs. I love those, by the way. Yeah. It reminded me a lot of my sister.
It was
in
a
the
period
90s.
piece. What are you talking about? It wasn't the 90s.
Well,
bangs.
yeah. No,
it was like the 40s. Bangs.
Yeah. You know.
Oh man, all I want is
was that a set, by the way, or was that shot like on location?
They found
somewhere?
the house.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they found the house.
That's
and
cool.
They didn't build it.
Right. It was a one-room rickety shack.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't take long to build.
I want so badly for somehow enough of these interviews to be out there that the baby, maybe he's 30 now.
Isn't that crazy?
I want to meet this person.
Yeah. It kind of is similar to like the Nevermind baby from the Nirvana album.
Oh.
It's like he's a grown adult now. Yeah, it's crazy. It's some of that
surely
stuff.
He's got a Facebook page that says like the baby in the Fancy video. Like surely.
You would think. Yeah. You would think. Crazy. So crazy. So you've also done other work in acting and stuff. Like I said at the top of the show, you've actually even got an IMDb page, which I think is so cool. We've hit on Heat of the Night, Better Off Ted. What are some other
before we move on? Here's a strange connection that I don't even know. I mean, we've known each other for 20 years, and this topic has never come up between us. But the guitars of the first band I was in did the music for Better Off Ted.
Oh,
my high school, the guitars in my first high school band.
That's very jazzy. Better Off Ted is very jazzy.
Yeah, this kid was playing complicated jazz guitar back when he was 16.
That's awesome.
The kid was amazing. Went to Berkeley. His name is Christopher Allen Lee.
Is he good at math too?
Usually
jazz players are good at math.
Yeah, that's
true. I don't know, but he could play anything back then too. So I saw that he was on Better Off, did the music for Better Off Ted. It's
that's
like, wait
so
a
cool.
second. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So that's an odd connection that we have.
Yeah, that was kind of just like a random thing that happened older. I wasn't like a big part or anything. I just was on every episode, but just featured here and there. It was technically background, but they assigned me a role. They said, you're Veronica's secretary. And then they featured me as Veronica's secretary. And then I found out that if they gave me a line, then I couldn't come back anymore. I couldn't be on the show as Veronica's secretary, not talking anymore. And so I think they were like, we just need you to be here every day. So I was on every single episode for both seasons. So around Portia de Rossi, and I learned a lot. It was really awesome. But before then, when I was a kid, I did some Nickelodeon shows when I moved to Orlando after we left Nashville. So there was a show in the 90s called Welcome Freshman, which had about 5 seasons. So I was a featured character in that a couple times. And then Melissa Joan Hart did a show called Clarissa Explains It All.
Yeah.
And so I was had a speaking role, a reoccurring role in that a couple times. And I just little bit of this, a little bit of that. And
in working with Nickelodeon, did you ever get to do any of the like the Temple of Doom and all the like kids game shows and get covered in slime, or was yours more like the straight acting and that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just acting. And I found the episode. It's so weird finding these episodes. I mean, it's all like grainy and it's like, you know, captured weirdly, but it'll probably end up on Amazon Prime too.
There you go.
But yeah, watching like baby John and your voice is higher, like you talk different, and I show my kids and they're going, oh my God, I can't believe that's like how you were when you were our age. You're so little and you sound so little. So
it's pretty mind-blowing when you hear that with your parents and stuff. I remember seeing pictures of my mom when she was young and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but now I teach actors, so I have a really awesome. I love what I do, and I just kind of take what I've learned and I kind of pour that into the kids around here in the small town. And I was like, you can do it. It's just not easy. So
yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute. So Act for Real is the name.
Yeah. Acting for Real.
Acting for Real. Yes.
Yeah, so clever.
I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Is that something that you do here in Springfield? Or do you take on new people? How does all that work?
Okay. Well, I started it back in 2015 and just did some classes, did some private coaching. One of my actresses did a lot of audition coaching, and she ended up becoming a big movie star.
Oh,
so I got to kind of just go on that ride with her and be a part of helping her actually, you know, get on the other side of the fence, as they say, like, and then just really, really know. So it was very educational for me as a coach to be like, oh, I guess what I'm doing is working. Maybe I should keep helping people.
Right.
So, I just did that for a while. And then whenever COVID happened, I decided to pause my group classes. And then I had a small group, and then we ended up coming up with an idea. And then now I'm making movies. I'm directing movies now.
And that's what I was going to ask as my last question is, Josh and I noticed on your IMDb page that you've got an directing credit. So what was it that you directed?
Recently, it's a movie that's about to come out. It's still in post-production called The Land of Milk and Honey.
Oh, cool.
And it's written by Brian Scroggs. We developed it together with the kids that are in the movie. And it's about
grandmas in nursing homes or murderous death, or
there's some it's dramatic. It's about some kids who are dealing with a dad who has PTSD from Afghanistan, from the war. Brings it home. There's domestic abuse, and there's a situation that happens, and the kids take it in their own hands without involving the law. And
who all did you work with on that? Because I feel like I'm Facebook friends with somebody else that's worked on this.
Well, we had a pretty
is
big.
It Brandon? I can't remember his last name. Starts with an L.
You mean
somebody, cameraman or something? No, who was that?
Okay.
I'm trying to think in real time who that was, and I can't think.
Well, we had a really amazing crew. We had Sam Holder was the cinematographer, and we had 417 Grip and Joe Batty, and we had Jonathan Jones, and Brandon Goodwin. He owns co-owners of 417 Grip, but he wasn't on set, just as people. Let's see. Brandon Mazzello was a saxophone player in it. He was a little featured. Speaking of saxophones.
That's cool.
Yeah, we had a little saxophone feature guy there.
Take that, Kenny G.
Yeah, he did great.
By the way, Kenny G is a clarinetista, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So yeah.
He plays soprano sax. It looks like a clarinet, but it's a soprano sax.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so right now the movie is in the hands of our composer. So we have Colton Jackson and Michael Palmquist, who are scoring it. And doing the sound design.
So once it's out, how are people going to be able to see this? Is this going to be like a limited theater release?
We're going to do some focus screening just to kind of make sure that we have, it is what we hoped it would be. And if we need to do anything different, it could be privately distributed. It might get picked up. We're going to pitch it to a couple places and see, because it's getting paired with the documentary, The Making of the Movie, which is an educational documentary series on how to make independent films in the Midwest.
Oh, wow. How cool, though. That's a great spotlight for you guys.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Camera's on me the whole time, like just trying to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like what we're doing right here with my show. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So I just stay in it. I've been really blessed to learn what I've learned as an actor and worked with so many people. And then I went to Missouri State and minored in film production before I went to LA. And then I call myself an all of the artist, singing, writing, producing. So we're launching our new film production company called Sooner Than Later Studios. STLstudios.net has nothing to do with St. Louis. And so that is where we're going to just tell people we want to tell stories, and it's film and music videos and, satire, and it just, we want to tell stories, and we're excited to do that.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome. I love that. I love that you have a passion for not just acting, but all encompassing things surrounding acting and stuff.
I do have to say it's really cool, because one of the first things that I directed I was really, really proud of was actually music video for Kaylee Spaney, who is the actress that went on to be the lead in Pacific Rim Uprising and many other things. But she had a 4-song EP, and so I picked one of her songs, and I was like, "You want to do a music video?" She's like, "Okay." Right. So
Awesome.
I directed that and worked with Josh Foff, who's really talented, and that was years ago. But I figure, you started music videos, and then you start directing music videos, and come full circle.
Speaking of full circle, wouldn't it be cool if the two of you were able to get together and do something?
I know. When you said that, I just thought.
So I'm watching your music video, and all I want to know is who shot it.
Oh, for Hands on the Bible?
Yeah.
His name is Brian Lockwood.
Oh my gosh, he did such amazing. I need his contact information.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff for like the X Games and National Geographic. He used to shoot for like Motley Crue back in the day. Yeah.
The cinematography is beautiful. I have so many questions, like which camera, like what is the crew, like
I will direct you to him for sure, because I have no clue.
So there's that connection, but also Chelsey, and tell me if I'm wrong, but the new video that you're going to be releasing soon, The Men and the Boys, is a different crew, is that right?
That is a different crew.
So who is that?
Yeah, so Sam Jones and Betty Chung, they're actually like a boyfriend girlfriend duo.
Okay.
And I've been working with them a ton. Brian is he's so good that he's very he's always busy.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
Sometimes
that's how you know you're dealing with the right people.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't always get him, but and Sam and Betty too. I mean, they're doing all kinds of stuff. So it's like you had to schedule out months with these people,
and it's such a creative process too. Because whenever I sit down with artists, because I've directed a few music videos and consulted, and I love it because it's like, you can go with country. I think it gets a little bit more, it's easy because you're just making short films. You're telling stories, and it almost makes it easier. But with alternative rock or whatever, it can be anywhere from like animation, or you just sitting there staring at the camera while someone paints you, or just like spinning around. I mean, it could be literally anything. So
and you're right though. Country music is very direct, and this is the meaning of this.
Yeah.
Whereas it's left to interpretation for a lot of other genres.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Definitely.
Very cool. By the way, Christy Pressler says loved Clarissa Explains It All. So yeah, shout out to the 90s kids.
Yeah.
And Deborah Klein says #I still have bangs.
I just started growing them out just like a few years ago, and I was like, sometimes I'm like, I want it back.
Bangs are hard. You got to style them every day.
Yeah.
Unless you just have like perfectly straight hair, which I'm so jealous of people like that. But I could not have bangs. My hair is crazy.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look crazy today. You look great. Both of you,
it takes a lot of work
girls
just
look
to
like
get it normal looking.
Let's see here. So, update on the Chet Smith situation. He says, this is not for all you lovely Pete's that log in. This is for the scheduled guests that have appeared, and it will be as scheduling allows. Jared and I will decide the winners.
How do we win?
Well,
yeah. What do we have to do, Chet? What do we have to do to win?
Yeah, tell them, Chet. Hit them with what they got to do. Chet says, backstory, Jared Isaacs, the Jonna shoot. When I asked her to give me pain, she gave me pain. When I asked her to give love, she gave it. She is fun and amazing to work with. P.S. Bring the wine.
I think I'm gonna cry right now.
Right?
Really,
bring the wine. Oh, I love that.
Thank you, Chet.
Yeah, Chet's good people, man. I've known of Chet. I've known of Chet for years and years, and it was just this year that I actually finally got to meet him. So, really good dude. Really and truly is. His heart's always in the right place. So, all right. Let's move it on. Let's go on to track number 7. So we've got Buying Her Roses versus And Still. All right, Joshua, let's get your opinion on these two songs here.
Nothing really stands out other that they both were good songs. Buying Her Roses was good, and Still is I felt was better produced. So it had a little more gravitas. So I went with
I'll steal Jonna's line. Oh, what was that word?
gravitas.
Oh,
Really
like
with
it.
the words
I'm
today, Josh.
sorry.
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah. He's
Wow.
who are you trying to impress?
No one.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man, are you?
I do it for me.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I don't want you to be all dressed up with nowhere to go.
That's right. I'll be in an old folks home saying words like unencumbered, gravitas, and ubiquitous.
This is so good.
Oh, I
This is
love it.
So good.
I love it. I feel well, I just
not remembering his name, just thinking it might be John.
there you go. It might be.
Yeah.
You got
But
about
anyway,
a 50-50 shot.
And Still is what I'm going with.
All right. So And Still is the single between the two. It peaked at number 2. And Chelsey, you asked earlier when she went to number 15, I think it was for the night the lights went out in Georgia. So she was at number 2, and the one that beat her out. Yeah, the one
12?
that beat her out was Alan Jackson's "I Don't Even Know Your Name."
Well,
Speaking of, I thought your name was
alright.
John.
Oh, she was at 12, and that was at 1.
No, she was at 2.
Oh, with,
and Alan Jackson
at
was
2
at 1.
with Georgia.
No, Georgia was at number 15.
Oh,
I believe.
I'm lost then.
All right. Yeah. So let me go back to my notes.
See, these are the songs we're looking at: Buying Her Roses and Still.
Oh, and Still.
Yeah.
was number
yeah.
2.
Sorry, I
okay.
had.
Gotcha.
Well,
Just
here you
a
go.
question
There
for
you
the
go.
producer, like, how do people see this thing online? Like, how do you guys share it? Where
So
do you send people?
yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting that you missed the first part of the show.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
no, you're totally fine. So we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube right now, as well as and Twitch if your kids like.
But we don't
Twitch.
let those people speak.
Yeah,
But
no.
how do they find you on Facebook?
The Audio Rose podcast.
Audio Roast Podcast.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I gotta find.
That's that right there.
Right. I'm just gonna. A friend of mine was asking what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm on a podcast.
You're like, I don't even know. To be honest, I'm just acting,
got in
and
this
this is all
room.
weird. I don't know
So
any
you're
of these
sitting
people.
you're sitting in a room and you're not really sure if it's being streamed.
I'm having so much fun.
Right.
This is so
Yeah.
fun.
We're just pretending here.
I'm like, go to Facebook. I can't
is just
turn on my songs will play and I'll mess up the show because all of the audio. I'm like, just go there. I don't. I
Yes.
can't-
No. Let's see here. I'd tell you what. I'll send you the link directly
Yes,
so that you can
yes.
just share that. I'll make
Yeah.
it. I'll try to make it easy on
Nobody can see all the work that I'm doing. I'm like busy. I'm like shouting you out right now.
you. Oh, I appreciate that.
I'm trying.
I will definitely pause the show for you to shout us out.
I'm like a lot of. I'm like, yeah, just make it. You have to make it easy. Everything these days has to be one click.
Very. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, don't make me go look for something. Just send me the
Exactly.
link.
Hey, speaking of which, I'll go ahead and I'll plug my own stuff because I always forget about this.
Good.
So in the comments, there is the direct link to our website, which, by the way, is where you can go and buy tickets for our live show. And then here is our Patreon.
Oh yeah.
So that you guys can sign up if you'd like to. I need my music. Okay, there's that.
That was really short.
I know, right? Yeah. Thankfully, I'm a fairly fast typer. All right, let's see if that'll go through. And sure, it looks like it did. And now then, let me share this with you. And oh boy, how do I do this?
It's always when you need things happen fast. That,
I'll tell you what. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so I'll just share the link directly to your Facebook page.
Perfect.
Good idea.
I was trying to copy the link and do the messenger thing, but whatever. All right, so now then, let's go ahead with Buying Her Roses and Still. So Joshua, you picked And Still.
And Still.
Okay. So And Still is an interesting song because it's kind of like what I talked about earlier, where she takes a verse and it's this message, and then the next verse with the same words is a totally different message. And I love those kind of songs. So the first beginning of the song is it's a song about lovers from the past that their paths cross and they reminisce, and it's a very positive thing. And during them reminiscing, she realizes that she still loves him. And they're just talking about old times, all this good stuff. She doesn't say it, but she knows that her heart feels that. And then all of a sudden, his wife comes into the picture, and it's like, hey, I'd like you to meet my wife. And it's this whole like, oh,
Ouch.
that kind of thing. And still her world stood still in that moment. And I literally just got goosebumps. Because so the words and still change. So it's a really cool way to do that. Buying Her Roses, I literally have no notes just because I thought it was a good song, but nothing really stood out to me on that. So my vote is going to be And Still. Chelsey?
I agree with exactly what you just said, basically. Like both good songs, but And Still is definitely way more memorable to me, and just the vocal on it. No competition for me. And Still is my vote.
Okay. And Jonna, what do you think? Oh, weird. Hang on. We're losing Oh, no, I bet you I know where it's at. That's the one that's
And now time for beatbox. Chelsey, go ahead and start beatboxing for us.
I hear.
You don't want me to do that. You're gonna lose.
Let me
lots
see if
of
I
viewers.
talk without doing fake brokenness. It's working.
Oh, yes.
Do you see how I did that really? I did. No, you did it. You fixed it.
When there's no camera on
Hooray!
They can still drop.
This is whenever that's a cell phone thing. Like, I mean, sir, yeah. So this And Still, like I've lived this. So.
Oh my gosh,
So-
are you really?
Yeah, I've definitely been like, and then he's like, and my beautiful wife.
Or
I feel like it's a
girlfriend or
Alanis
whatever.
Morissette song too. The ironic,
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Finally meeting the man of my dreams and then meeting his beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic?
I'm with you there, sister.
I've been there too. Although my now husband, I ran into him at a bar after college. Oh, now I'm there. Can we hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
we can
good.
hear you.
I know what you're talking about. Though. I can hear you.
Yeah.
It might be the gate. Actually, let me do this. Let me just take all the gates off and see if that's
Technology break for technology. Here we go. I also do voice acting, so if you ever need me to be like a commercial for you, I'll just do it for free.
Oh, really?
But only
'Cause-
you, not everybody.
Okay. And I'm dead serious. I will take you up on that.
Oh, he'll work you.
Podcast.
Yeah.
About to be really awesome. Yeah.
I mean to tell you. Cha-ching! Oh, wait. There we go. All right. So,
Got everything ready.
Okay,
Well-
so I don't think I got Chelsea's vote. What
Okay.
was it?
Yes, And Still.
And
is my
Still?
vote. Mhm.
But she was telling a story about her husband.
Oh yeah, correct.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, I ran into him at a bar after college, and we kind of we were good friends in college, and then he had a girlfriend with him at the bar, and I was like, but then we got married, so it worked out.
Yeah. So you were like the woman in this song. Like that girl was just like, oh no. he's
I
gonna
didn't
leave me and
break
marry
them
her.
up or anything. No, but
right. This isn't a Linda Davis
That's
situation.
No.
Yeah.
We
He may have
later.
seen you at that bar and thought, well, what am I doing with her?
Well, that could be.
It could have happened. You could have been the start of their breakup.
Speaking.
Well, I don't
Home
care if I
wrecker.
was, because it worked out. It worked out for me.
Just saying. Speaking of bar, I wanted to stop too and say, Chelsey, I checked out your YouTube page, and you've recently uploaded a making of your soon to release the Men and the Boys video, and you talk about the fakeness of people and like going to a bar where everybody's all, and I'll use this term because we're doing a country episode, everybody's all gussied up, and nobody's got like mud and crap on their boots, and you're
Right.
like, where's the real people at?
Right.
I love that so much.
All
The
hat, no
term-
cattle.
Yeah, the term that we use in the song is catalog cowboy,
Ooh,
because they literally just bought this outfit to wear to the club, and you're like, you've never even worked on a farm.
Right.
Like, you just there's just me and my girlfriends would go out. That's what I wrote the song about. We would go out, and it's just like all these wannabe cowboys.
right.
Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable. All right. And Jonna, where are you at? Jonna, sorry, I did it myself.
It's okay. It's okay. I answered.
I've got one. Mark me
Jonna.
for one.
I'm
Like
gonna go. With,
DeJohna.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with And Still.
Okay.
Because I just, I'm like, me too, girl.
Yeah.
Me too.
In there.
There you go.
Jared, you had And Still?
I did. Yeah. Yep. So over here in the comments, we've got Jet Smith with clarification number 304. I love that. Contact Jared Isaacs. We will schedule a day. If your schedule doesn't allow, we will do what we need to do, and we can get your pictures taken. Anyone brave enough to do a podcast and help support the scene deserves the love. # give back. I love that so much. And speaking, for real.
Standing up.
I think we've got.
I
think we got one of the what do you call it? The cup guy for next week.
What?
What? Where you're giving the cups the recognitions at the beginning of the show?
Oh yeah.
He's in the running.
Oh yeah, a runaway. Speaking of give back. Even Christy Pressler up here earlier said something about she thought it was really sweet and you deserve some brownies. So I don't know what kind of brownies you like, Chet, but hit up Chelsey. Chelsey, good Lord, these names everywhere.
You don't want brownies
Christy.
from me. I'm not good. I'm not a good cook.
Do you make catalog brownies?
Yeah, I'm not a good cook.
I make catalog brownies. It's straight up Betty Crocker anytime I do it. I don't do anything from scratch like that. So good stuff. All right. So in the comments, let's see here if anybody's got any votes for these. I scrolled too far up. Elkie says her vote is and still. Brian says buying her roses. We need some more votes.
Yeah, I was gonna
y'all. Say. That's 2 votes out of like 14 people watching.
They're probably
right
just
now.
listening to the song because they don't know what their opinion is.
I mean, there's that. Yeah, we could.
You can always just fake it and just pick one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who does that though?
I don't know.
Come on.
Not us.
No, we're all pros around here.
Right.
All right. Well, since those comments are just rolling right in. Oh wait, I'll be ready for that too. We'll just go ahead and call it and move on. So, Josh, we are at what for our score on this one?
On this one, it is 5-1. Brian being the only holdout for buying her roses.
Oh well, he's a sweetheart, but sorry, Brian, you're getting the old axe. All right, on to track number 8.
But fancy was on my name.
Oh, love it.
Chet Smith says,
one.
"Master of Puppets gets my vote. Amp this up." I agree. Well, I think we're turning the corner here on all the hits. Like I said at the beginning of the show, these albums are what I call backloaded. All the big hits and stuff. We're right in the thick of things. So we've got The Greatest Man I Never Knew versus The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. Yeah. Probably the hardest mashup so far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, Joshua.
Oh, it was no competition.
Oh,
The Greatest Man I Never Knew. Come on.
Yeah. Tell us why.
The depth of that song, and if you don't have kids, so
I don't, but nope. I think it's a lot. So I think
because I have a daughter, and that song resonated with me. So
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting.
And I had heard of this song, but I've never really sat down and listened to it. So yeah, to me, it was. There's so many things that this song speaks to about things unsaid, about assumptions about what your relationship should be.
Yeah.
And I think it spoke very well to that.
Interesting.
So
that's a really interesting take.
Yeah. The Heart of the Lonely is a Lonely Hunter just sounded like to me a song trying to be a hit. And it was a great song, but it just doesn't stand a chance against The Greatest Man I Never Knew.
That's fair. In
my opinion.
So
you can have another opinion and you can be wrong.
I could be wrong. Okay, well, good. Yeah. Then I'll go ahead and tell you that my opinion is wrong. The Greatest Man I Never Knew. Both of these are singles, by the way. So The Greatest Man I Never Knew peaked at number 3. The Heart is a Lonely Hunter peaked at number 1.
Doesn't mean a thing. Hitler made a lot of money. Didn't make him a good man.
Oh my God. We've got The Greatest Man I Never Knew was written by Richard Lee, who also was the writer of Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue, which was a hit by Crystal Gale. And it's about a relationship that's strained and it feels distant, even though they're in the same place. Again, I can totally relate to that. On the other hand, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. My notes for that are that I love the electric guitar in the song.
I read that too. I had great electric guitar.
Yeah, and this. So again, this came out in 96, so I was like 13 or 94, whatever. I was kid. And this is where kind of the beginnings of Jared's appreciation for guitar work that tells stories, not just like a noodle fest. And this is a good example in country music of exactly that. And I really loved both songs, but I will say that The Greatest Man I Never Knew wins by a landslide, in my opinion. So there's that.
So you are agreeing with me.
So I'm not wrong after all now,
You're
am
not.
I?
No.
All right, Chelsey?
Yeah, I think The Greatest Man I Never Knew. I mean, it's just the depth of the song, like you said. It's hard to beat a message like that. So that one definitely wins for me. Although I do love The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, but I love all her songs really. But yeah, this it's a strong message. So
and it probably Heart is a Lonely Hunter probably would have done better if it were up against a different song.
Yeah,
and I love the just the melody of The Greatest Man and the piano in it. It's so pretty.
It's a very simplified kind of presentation
and the emotion that she can convey in it. Yeah,
one
wins.
I've got the same notes for a song later on, but The Greatest Man I Never Knew is a great example of vowel shapes with Reba and how she takes one word and like she'll change the vowel sound in one word. I love that. I love that about Reba, and this is a great example of that.
That's Southern.
Yeah, that's whenever you say, how do you spell that?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like I said, I grew up in Arkansas, and that's
sorry, I almost choked again.
Those adding those extra diphthongs, is something that the South does. I worked at a restaurant where I would take call-in orders, and I had this one woman who called in and asked her name, and she said it was Brayon. And so I'm thinking, okay, how do you spell that? And she said Brown, Brayon.
Oh my God.
Brayon.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like some sort of French extraction. Yeah,
that's fair.
That's Southern.
And I totally do get what you're saying, but I will say that she does it in a way, and I've always sometimes I look at music very visually, and I feel like she is like an archer, like with an arrow, and she's taken that I've never known, and she'll like just drive that. She kind of skirts around it, and then she drives it home, and I feel like that's kind of what I mean. Right. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's an emphasis of a Southern thing,
right?
Is that the same for like, here's your one chance, baby, don't let me down?
Yeah. Right.
Is it the same?
Yeah, but
don't let me down.
But you can tell Reba comes by it honestly, and it's not
right.
Like,
it seems
there
very
are a lot
genuine.
of country artists that you can say, it's a fake country accent.
Yeah, right.
He's overplaying it.
Yeah,
her, it's honest.
She is as genuine as they come, man.
Yep.
Yeah. For sure. All right.
Anyway.
On to our voting. So, now Sharon Cooper gives us a still vote.
Vote.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, it's my first day on the job here.
It's okay.
You've got one job. You're moderating this thing.
This song is hard. Like this, just even talking about this song makes me want to cry a little bit. But it also reminds me of, as a theater kid, in plays and whatnot, it reminds me of Willie Loman from Death of a Salesman.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, especially in the 50s, there was just so many of those wives that they just didn't see their husbands. It was like, and when marriage was like a contract, but unfortunately, even now today, I have some close friends that, I mean, they get to know each other, but like, like to get kissed on the mouth once a week is like, oh, you touched me physically. It's like, what is our relationship? Are we just friends? Like, can you have it all? And it's another deep conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So based on that, your vote is going to be
Greatest Man I Never Knew.
There you go. All right. So now then, on to the comments. Terry says, I'd vote, but I don't remember any of these songs being on Appetite for Destruction. Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're right. They weren't on it. This is the spaghetti incident that we're doing.
Oh, come on now. Let's see here. Chris Schneider says The Greatest Man. How did I know that was going to be Chris's answer? Brian agrees, Greatest Man. Sharon Cooper, The Greatest Man. And Elke with The Greatest Man. So 4 online votes. There we go. And let's go ahead and call it. Josh, where are we at?
That
a clean
is a 7-0.
All right. So our first, finally on track 8, we get our first clean sweep. I like that, actually, that it took that long, because that means that we've got a lot of Reba fans. Chet says UFO Cherry gets my vote. Yeah, Chet actually was playing a lot of UFO last night, so dig it. I dig it. All right, now then, I think we might have one more commercial break, and which I'm going to take advantage of on this go round. So I will get our songs 9 and 10 up and ready, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a few. Stick around.
I have just one question. Have you thought about being a guest on the show? We are currently seeking music lovers of all kinds to join in on our fun. If you're interested in being a guest, or if you just have questions, comments, or suggestions, you can message us on Facebook or email us at theaudioroastpodcast@gmail.com. You can also submit any topics you'd like to hear discussed.
Go into track 9.
Recliner Wrestling Review. Wrestling Review. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Apple Podcasts with Jared and John. The Guy Likes Toys. Wednesdays on YouTube. Recliner Wrestling Review. Episodes available now. Only on YouTube. Sunset Productions.
All right, I'm dying from laughter and the fact
You
that
should have gone to the restroom.
I still
I
didn't
was
go
trying.
pee. So, Joshua, I'm going to let you take over for track 9 till I get back.
Okay,
All
track
right.
9 is
But fancy was my name.
I Wouldn't Go For That. So, my notes on this is
Here you go. Here's my notes.
you want your Okay, so see that? No notes on I Wouldn't Go For That for Jared. My notes are a little more extensive. The song, it's a song of regret about wrong choices of love. And the other one is I Wouldn't Want to Be You. And I thought it was a great song structure, but it didn't. It had great background vocals, but it just wasn't the other song. It wasn't I Wouldn't Go For That. So, Chelsey, what do you think? Oh, he's got you muted. 1 second. 1 second. Let me unmute you. You're a bartender, right? Yeah. I don't know what he did. Come on. Sorry, guys. All right, there you go. Hey, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't go that far?
You wouldn't go? I wouldn't go for that.
This is the one about she chose.
Oh, well, there's an error on there. It's not I wouldn't go for that. It's
I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go
right?
that far.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was thinking of the right one. But yeah, this is the one about where she chooses career, basically.
That's right.
And then she ends up seeing the guy later and kind of the same thing. He has a family and he's like, oh, I'm so glad you're happy now. And she's like, well, I wouldn't go that far because success isn't everything. That's kind of like the moral of the story, I think.
Right. And at the time, she wouldn't go that far. When he offered her, like, when he engaged,
when he proposed.
tried to propose to her,
Yeah.
and she wouldn't go that far. And then,
Yeah, basically.
It's just like a play on words kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a little twist on words.
So she chose a career instead of love and kind of regrets it a little bit, I think.
She does.
Which is a good message. I
Mhm.
think you have to have that balance in life. Yeah, and obviously that one is a big one, like a relatable one for me, but I wouldn't want to be you. It just didn't stick out for me in any way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I think I really like the message. and it's relatable. So
Yeah, she
that's
seemed to
my
be more
vote.
connected to that song than she did.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
you
want to
could
be you.
feel it.
Even though it was sassy Reba, and I wouldn't want to be you. It just
not as memorable. So
right.
I wouldn't go that far. Is my vote.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, what?
Jared's back.
Back in black.
And here's your notes if you want to.
All right. So, did you tell him it was on the notes?
No, I didn't.
All right. So, I wouldn't go. So this is the battle of the I wouldn'ts, by the way. I wouldn't go for that. It's not a Hall & Oates song, even though it should be.
And also, you've got it wrong. It's I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, well then what's my deal?
I can go for that.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. That's okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
You switched
What?
2 words and left the letter out.
That's the nicest way of saying you idiot. I love that.
I would totally have done something like
Oh,
that.
wait,
I'm the queen of typos.
So I got to do this for Elkie. You idiot. Okay, now then.
That's awesome. I want to be on that camera.
Well, we've got a
So
little
many
filter
buttons.
action on there. Yeah, so many
Oh,
buttons.
So many buttons.
So good.
All right. So many buttons, so many cameras. All right. Let's see here. So I have no notes for the first song. The second song I've got is my note says, I wouldn't want to be you, sexy beat. That's all I've got, is that it's a sexy beat. Okay. So my vote is going to be, I don't know anything about what you guys said when I was gone as far as what your guys' opinions are
She
and
just
stuff.
like summed it up and like told us what, like her summary of the song, like what happened in the story.
Yeah, like I wouldn't go that far. Basically, she chose success over love and then kind of ends up regretting it in the end. So I love that.
Yeah, for sure. I will say though that what's funny is a lot of these, and I think Jonna, you've said the same kind of thing throughout the day. Like a lot of these lyrics is what you're connecting with. Same for me. This one is a little bit different. This one is it is the music that I'm like, oh man, I really like. I wouldn't want to be you. Musically a little bit more. So that's going to be my choice. Jonna, have you got to vote yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
Thanks
let's
for
hear it.
picking me to vote.
Sure.
Shit, okay. I appreciate the sometimes you just want to listen to a song because you like the way it sounds, regardless of the the story or whatever. But
right.
I'm with Chelsey. I wouldn't go that far because especially, I mean, again, relatability. It's like, my dad, he, just having a lot of attention and everyone thinks like, obviously. And then I teach actors too. Like they say, I want to be a star. I want to be famous. I'm like, you don't understand what you think you want. So,
right.
Fame is said you want be an actor. It's a life-threatening career. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Fame is awful. And you don't have like people just make assumptions, and don't know really what's going on behind the scenes. And so I like the story.
Guilty.
I like the story.
I love that you said that because, like being a musician at one point, like I feel like that's all I wanted. And I'm like, oh, if I could just get this big record deal, if I could just do this, or I could just do that. And then, the more that I'm out in Nashville all the time and meeting people who like they are there or their best friend has made it, the stories that they tell, the more I'm realizing like, ooh, I don't know. Maybe that's not what I want.
Right.
So I've like totally shifted gears on that. Like exactly what Jonna was saying. It's like, it's not
all it's cracked up.
I haven't experienced.
Right. Well, here's the thing that's similar in that. So something I've learned as a musician is, we're always like, oh man, we've got a show on the 14th. Like I can't wait for the show. It's going to be great. And then the 14th comes and it goes. And you're like, well, now what? Don't forget to focus on the journey, meaning all those times you go to practice and you cut up with the bandmates and stuff, like that's the magic, not the show. The show is the payoff for the magic.
Yeah.
So
and you've got to look at the beginning. Like I get super frustrated sometimes and then I'm like, oh yeah, but look where you started and look where you are now.
Right.
Like you've done so much.
Well, and if you're let's say vocally having kind of an off night for some reason at the show, and it's like, dang it, you don't have to beat yourself up over that because how many times you nailed it at practice with your bandmates that that you've grown with and that kind of thing. So in other words, don't put so much stock on exactly what you girls are saying with the bright lights in the big cities. Like it's all about the journey of getting there. And if you don't get there, there's a great story there too.
Yeah, and that's actually something that I teach, and it will be in my online acting course called How to Get a Gig. But it's just talking about that each, my friend Todd Julian from LA, I have to always give him credit whenever I quote him, but he says the audition is the job. So in acting, the audition is the thing. And every time you audition for something, it's a new opportunity to learn about yourself and to grow and to get better. And, you know, working with Kaylee, I helped her with auditions for like 2.5 years, and each audition made her better. So now she can actually handle the fact that she is a movie star. You know, it's just in keeping her head on straight. But so that was me just like, you know, comparing acting with music.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's true. And there's so much of that with anything artistic, how even though things are very linear in like the music scene and like it's practice, show and go out and tour or what have you, but a lot of those can be translated to fit any kind of anything. So acting or ballet, all kinds of things. Sports. Yeah, absolutely. Weather, news. Still to come, by the way, still to come. Okay, so let's
can't wait.
Were you I Wouldn't Want to Be You?
Yes.
That was you? Okay.
Yeah, because of the sexy beat.
Okay.
All right. So Elkie says I wouldn't go for that. Which, yeah, you know what she means. That's my fault. Sorry.
I can go for that.
Chet Smith says #Podboy covers the P.
That's right.
There you go. Okay. Chris Schneider says I had to step outside and look up biggest dang moon I've ever seen tonight. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, take a picture or something because we're missing out. We've got 1.5 windows, but they're to inside. So yeah,
we don't have Jonna's vote.
Oh no, I gave it to you before she cast her vote. So remind us again which one your vote is for.
I wouldn't go for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, there you go.
Either or.
Just keep burying me. It's all right. It's all right. Terry says, I practically quit playing music because everyone I played with was infatuated with getting fame. Yes, I know you were. Yeah. So, by the way, Terry's drummer is the guy that I took drum lessons from as a kid. And he was, you're exactly right, Terry. I understand. I just wanted to have fun. I enjoy my freedom. Too much for fame. Absolutely. I totally understand that. All right. So, in the online, we've got one vote. What the heck? Maybe people just aren't in it for the I wouldn't battle.
Yeah, those two aren't. I feel like those two aren't as well known, maybe, but
I would totally agree.
Yeah.
So in listening to these albums this week, like every time these came on, I was like, okay, next. I just caught myself skipping them.
Yes.
They just didn't stand out. So is what it is. So Joshua, what's our winner on this one?
It is 4-1, and I wouldn't go that far.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Jared learned how to spell.
You lose.
Yes, I do. All right. And so finally, on to our last song. By the way, there was I don't have my stuff ready, but one of the albums had 11 songs, but it was a live version of a previous song. So I omitted that. Yeah. Here we go. Elkie says VOTE. You tell him, girl. Tell him how to do this. Because yes, we need some more folks. All right. So our final one is
But fancy was on my name.
She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. That's an example. Down. All right, that's all I got.
Just like Reba.
I know, right?
Just like her.
Oh, wait,
Is
that's
she
Cher.
in here?
That's Cher.
Yeah. Well,
I close
young
my
Reba,
eyes.
Yeah, young Reba is. All right, so If I Had Only Known versus Till You Love Me. Hit it, Josh.
Okay, so If I Had Only Known had very minimal instruments. Piano and strings, I believe, primarily.
I mean, are you reading my notes?
No, I'm reading my notes, but I think we're thinking along the
piano and strings only. It says
strings only. I think it tells a great story and has a great melody, and it has a vulnerability to it that I really liked. But no buts. That's the one I went with.
Oh yeah,
that's the one I went with because Till You Love Me, it didn't have the vulnerability, and it reminded me too much of an Eagles song. It had a kind of this.
What's wrong with the Eagles?
Well,
come on.
There's nothing wrong with the Eagles. It just every time I heard it, I thought of Take It to the Limit because it has bum 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 bum.
I can hear that now.
Bum, 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 bum.
Always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. Hit it, Chelsey.
I'll help you carry on.
So for
It won't
Yeah.
be long.
But yeah, it just
that I'm gonna be somebody to lean on.
I love that song. Look at us.
How do we go from Reba to Lean on Me? I don't
that was
know,
all
but
you.
I love it.
Yeah.
You can make
Yeah.
it country so easy.
Well, yeah. Well, it was his bomb bombs, and then it just sounded the same
Yeah,
to me.
it
I don't
did.
know how you got Eagles. I got
Listen
That
to
was-
Lean
yeah.
on Me.
okay,
that was
next time
quite a
you
journey.
listen to it, take
No,
it
it's
to
in
the
my
limit.
head.
Don't you be
Slow
ruining my
your
damn Reba
ride.
McEntire songs.
No, it was like that's why I thought it's like, oh, that's the little progression and take it to the limit.
That's fair. That's fair.
And not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just that my mind wasn't thinking, went automatically to a different song by a different band. So, yeah, and it just didn't have the vulnerability as the other one.
Okay.
If I had only known.
If I had only known.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see here.
That wins it for me.
All right. If I had only known is not a single. Till You Love Me is. Till You Love Me peaked at number 2. Chelsey, it was beat out by Pam Tillis's Mi Vida Loca, which is My Crazy
That's
Life.
stupid.
I
I
almost
couldn't
thought you were
agree
gonna s-
more.
I
I
thought-
really
literally
couldn't.
never heard of that song.
You're not missing much.
I thought
and-
you were going to say Pantera.
no.
Is it
Pam Tillis. Yeah. So for my notes, I've also got piano and strings only. If I'd only known, it's a line from the song. If I'd only known it was Our Last Walk in the Rain, and if I'd only known I'd never hear your voice again. Really good lyrics. But Till You Love Me. Okay, so this is the song that I have. There you go, vowels. This is the biggest example, in my opinion, of all these vowel shapes and stuff, and that's really the defining sound of Reba McEntire to me, is these vowel sounds and shapes. And I just really love the song. It's a single. It had radio play, so I'm really familiar with it. So it's what gets my vote. However, I do want to say If I Only Had Known is a great lyric. It's a great song. Okay, Chelsey?
Yeah. For me, this is like just a no-brainer. Till You Love Me. The vocals on that song. And actually, I love this song so much. And when I was listening to the album for this assignment, I was like, I would love to record a cover of that. Like the vocals in the chorus are so big.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And isn't it and as a vocalist, like, isn't it interesting that you can have such a big sound and be so like forward facing with your like me, like those very front. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too technical here, but yeah, it's impressive that it could be that full and that big with those nasally kind of tones.
And I just love like vocally challenging songs, and I think there's like, I don't know, maybe people who I guess don't sing that style may not appreciate it as much, but when I listen to it and I'm like, that'd be really hard to sing. I just appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
When you're like, wow, that's really hard. The words that you're saying that high in your range and it sounds that good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that song. If I had only known that, I obviously love the message and the lyrics and everything, but Till You Love Me wins for me.
Fair enough. Jonna?
Come on, Jonna, be
These are
right.
So I'm literally gonna cry. So everybody's got their stuff. So like both of these make me really emotional at the same time for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know, one of them is really hopeful, and the other one is like, oh no. It's almost like you could, if you were gonna do, you know how like Rihanna or Beyonce, they put all these music videos back to back, these songs back to back, and they kind of tell this whole story.
Right. Conceptual.
I think Harry Styles did it too recently, where he just like told a whole story from like the beginning of a relationship to the end of a relationship.
Who are these people she's talking about?
Not country.
Right.
They're younger.
Oh, younger. That's why I don't know.
Yes. But this to me feels like Till You Love Me is like happened first, and then it was followed up in the story by If I'd Only Known. And
I love how you're taking these songs and you're threading them with each other. That's a great idea.
I just emotionally, but if I was just going to sing along and just kind of like get the vocals going and just kind of be there melodically, then I agree with Chelsey on Till You Love Me.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the happier one right now.
Atta girl.
I'm going to do Happy Crying.
But I do understand though, the emotional connection and just the message and the pulling at the heartstrings. I totally get that.
Yeah. If you're anywhere close to this kind of an experience,
right,
at all, like, ooh,
yeah,
you're like,
I don't know about anybody else in this room, but I can't tell you how many times after a breakup, I've played Reba McEntire. Like, she is my go-to breakup girl.
And then you play the murder songs.
Yeah. You go through the whole range of emotions.
Yeah, the sad phase, then the murder phase, then the slut phase, I guess.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
And then your old nursing home phase.
Oh, Lordy. Good stuff. All right, so let's go over to the comments here and see. Brian has voted for If I Had Only Known. And Elkie votes for Till You Love Me. So one for each.
Ooh, we might have a close.
Maybe.
Go from a landslide to a tie. Is that possible?
I don't know. Since we're rolling here in the comments, where are we at on votes, Josh?
It's actually not close at all. It's
No?
4-2. Yeah.
Oh, 4-2.
And Till You Love Me is way ahead.
All right. So good stuff. We'll go ahead and call that. So now then, let's go back over here. I've got all my notes configured. So we've got let's see here. 1, 2. Oh, wait, I'm counting that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Aw, look, we got another vote. Hold on.
Just got
That's my friend Travis. I told him
3
to
to
vote,
4.
and he did.
Yeah, attaboy, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
So we've got a 6-4 final result.
Yep.
Is that right?
That's what I got.
Okay, good. Let's see here. Let me get this off of here. Travis, thanks for your vote. Let's see what the big winner is. Drum roll, please. So dramatic.
This is amazing.
Nope.
Nope. What?
You put the wrong numbers on here.
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, it's like the
Did I?
Oscars that one year when they announced the wrong movie.
Oh no!
Yep. You got them backwards.
No.
This is our Oscar moment. Okay, so here we go. We'll go this way. Get me out of this.
Get you out of it. Okay. So would
my
it be this one?
This is great. Hang on.
Did anybody see the Oscars that year when they read the wrong nominee?
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing I think that's ever happened.
Yep.
On the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, how awkward.
All right. So
Awkward.
let me hold that card up again. Let me see if we're still on track. Yep. Nope, we're not. That's probably my fault.
Yep. They're backwards.
So it's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Actually, it's 63.
Let's see if we get this right on take 2.
And the winner is, hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Reba won over Reba.
Wait,
Who
so
would have
is
taken that,
this
Reba?
91 or 94?
So this is 91.
Okay, yes, I would agree then.
So is
I
Fancy
agree.
on that album then?
No,
No.
Fancy's not on any of them.
You listened to the album, right?
Yeah, she listened to the album, just not this episode. Oh, good stuff. All right. Terry says it's a good thing this isn't a beauty pageant. Yep, that happened too. True enough. All right. Yeah, see, everybody knows that there's always going to be some kind of shenanigans that goes wrong. So before we wind things down here, I'm going to put this over here on Josh for a minute. I said that.
Wait.
What?
Wait. I know you can't play it, but like, can we sing it live?
Yes.
Fancy?
Good.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean,
Oh,
come on.
Fancy? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
go
mean, I
ahead and
know
sing
every
it.
single word.
Okay,
You
story,
should.
really fast story. So Ross, he was doing karaoke at Friends a few years ago, and I was there on a date, and he came up to me and he was like, do you know all the words? Do you have them memorized? And I said, I think so. I think so. And he said, okay, because I'm just gonna play your video on top of your face with no lyrics, and then you're gonna sing it.
Oh my gosh.
That happened.
Oh wow.
I think I repeated a verse,
Hey,
but I
it's
mostly got
okay.
it.
There you go.
It was crazy.
No one will notice.
But I always have to sing it lower because I can't sing that high.
I heard that story on another podcast.
Yes, you did. Because
I
it's
did.
interesting.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an unsung story.
That
It
happened.
is.
You know what's really cool? I've never gone
And
over.
also, how could they not interview you for the 25th anniversary of that
Thank you.
song?
Thank you.
How?
They didn't know where I was. That's why I called him. I was like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Here I am, fancy still of my name.
Yeah, where's the baby? I want to know where the baby is.
All right, let me see if I can
Just like pick a key and then Chelsey can just take over. She
Yeah.
just do it.
Sure.
actually hang on.
Surprise me.
Well, I've got so we'll sing fancy as we go off. I'm working on a weather report.
Oh, okay.
Oh shoot. I'm ready
Yay.
though. I mean, I know always.
So somebody told me that because I've always just sang the karaoke version of it because those are the lyrics in front of me. But is that not the radio version?
A fancy?
What do you
Somebody
mean?
said the radio version is shorter and it has like
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which verse did they
Yes.
cut out of it?
Benevolent Man verse?
Oh.
Maybe.
You know, I
Took
can't
me
remember.
off the streets.
I think they cut out Benevolent Man.
Oh,
verse.
because it was too sexy and naughty and
I don't know about
Yeah.
that. So there was some song that we've talked about tonight that there's like a string type intro and they cut that out of a radio edit too. And I don't remember which song it was. But I'm not sure on Fancy. I feel like they play the whole thing with Fancy.
Tara Lynn had some kind of a fact on that. She was very offended that the radio version was shorter. You had to have all the lyrics because
Interesting.
But there are so many words.
Speaking of which, she was on our pre-show and I played her singing some Reba McEntire. So and I think it was Fancy. So
That's awesome.
okay, so I'm working on the weather report. That's right. Okay.
Weather report. Yes.
I'm hoping maybe I can host a country night with Chelsey, hosted by the girl in the fancy video.
Yes.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
do something.
would
Let's dream it.
love
I'm doing it live so I can
that.
like make her. I'm like, look, see, we said it. We have to do it.
No, I
Reba
love
cover
doing
night,
stuff like this.
Hosted by the girl in the fancy video, and all the proceeds go to the shelter for homeless girls here in town.
I love that.
Actually, I really
I've been actually
Yeah.
dreaming up a concert like that for a really long time, and then COVID happened. So
and like I said, I'm putting this out into the world. I would love to do a duet of "Does He Love You" with somebody. So hit me up, like a cover, just
and
a
yeah,
cover.
anybody want to sponsor this concert?
I don't
about
know.
Mark
so
Chapman?
okay, well, so here So I'm all about making connections, and I know that Jonna, obviously, you know Tara. Chelsey, do you know a lady named Tara Lynn Fritz?
I have heard the name.
See, and I think these two need to their paths need to cross. So I can make that connection because she's the one that in the pre-show was singing Reba and stuff. And so she used to tour with the Statler brothers, all this kind of stuff. So she is. It would be a really cool thing to see the two of you do
I feel
that
like
duet.
it's gonna happen. It's like the Reba cover show hosted by the girl in the fancy video.
I'm
Yes.
all
I
for
feel like
it.
this got a ring to it, right?
All
right?
for it.
Okay,
I'm
and then we'll
down.
all wear
Anytime.
we'll all have lockets,
Yeah.
and we'll just rip them off, and then put them back on, and then rip them off.
And cry on stage.
Hey, that's a good question. Were you able to keep anything from the shoot, or did you still have the locket? Is it like the heart of the ocean?
You know, they should have given it to me.
They should have. They absolutely should have.
They
And I'm
should've.
serious about that.
They
Yeah.
should have. No.
Yeah. What are they gonna do with it?
But those shoes, I will tell you, the shoes in that they were like I was at the time, I think like a size 6.5, and they were like a 5. Like they didn't fit me, and my feet
Oh no.
hurt so bad. And
why
that
would the
dress was
shoes
very,
on
very
set
thin.
be a size 5?
Because they were the perfect red shoes, and they were they're like
No
I felt
one.
like one of those like the stepsisters in Cinderella where they're like, shove your foot in your shoe.
Yeah.
We'll just cut off her toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't stay in this very long just for the shoe shots.
The shoe shots.
There was like
Hashtag
two.
the shoe shots.
That's right.
They were really good looking shoes. They just were not my size.
Right.
So
They could.
That's
You'd
fair.
think they would ask you what you're gonna be in the video. Hey, what
can I
size
say
shoe
one
do you
more
wear?
thing about the music
You
video?
can
that's
say
really-
whatever you
okay,
want.
can I?
Yeah. Please do.
Yeah.
No rules.
PG. But still, I've had a lot of this is very awkward, and I'm just gonna
Put it out there, girl.
I've had
I'm
some
ready.
young men and older men my age tell me
oh boy.
of an awkward attraction they had to my character.
Oh boy.
Just use your imagination.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting here thinking, do you know what this song is about? And I'm also
Is that their infatuation though? Is that the
I think it's just because the dress comes down over my thigh and it's like they're like, oh my God, I just saw like a thigh. I don't know.
thigh meat?
I'm like, so you're sitting here just like having a crush on a girl who's getting sold into prostitution.
Right.
What is wrong with you?
For real.
Oh my gosh.
I
That
cannot
just-
tell you how many. I don't even know what to say to that anymore. I'm like, you had a crush on a future prostitute who was just kicked out of. What?
Yeah, that's pretty.
But I'll take it as a compliment. Oh, yes, you thought I was cute. I don't know. I was 15. That's also
Creeps.
awkward. All of it's awkward. Yeah, exactly. Unless they were 13, then
Right.
it's different. It was totally different.
Oh, come on, Radar.
I can just spout it out.
Oh
right here.
no, we're doing it up. We're making dreams happen here, girl.
All
What, are
right.
you gonna look at the real forecast?
Am I like gonna be like with a map?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
Oh,
put the map behind.
I mean,
Shoot.
that's what I'm saying. We gotta do this right.
It's like live streaming, also working with technology. Just sounds
Yeah,
like
on the
a
fly.
bad combination of everything.
Here's what's really funny. We've got no rain in the forecast, so it looks pretty boring.
Well,
That's actually
hey,
great, yeah.
actually we do on Wednesday and Thursday. There is a chance.
Okay, well let me rephrase that. On this radar, there is no rain.
Oh yeah, currently no.
So I'm
So-
proud. I'm proud to say I'm friends with Ron Hurst, and I'm gonna make sure that he watches this video after it's posted and be like,
Okay.
new weather girl.
Hey, funny story. Ask him about
Weather
this.
person.
I actually job shadowed him my freshman year of high school.
Really?
He'll probably remember.
He
Yeah.
cracks me up.
He is a funny guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says loading.
Awesome.
Loading.
Okay, so another quick story. So when I lived in LA, you listened to the radio and the weather report was like 2 seconds. It's sunny all week. And then the traffic report was like, okay, there's a crash and there's a crash and there's a crash and then somebody died and and so the traffic report went on for like 5 minutes. And then when I moved back here, I was in culture shock because it was the opposite. You listened to the weather report and it went on and on and on and on. And then traffic was like, somebody got pulled over on 60.
You should
Have a good day.
see the crime reports in the Seymour newspaper. That's where I live now, is Seymour. And one time there was a story about like someone like had a machete and was running around, and then there was another one like someone, they literally report this, like someone stole the like gumball machine out of McDonald's. That was in the paper.
Those small town news blotters are hilarious.
But then there was like a really bad one where these people like they've had their kids like chained to a bed. So it's like these small town things where you can have
That's where the real
like,
stuff goes down.
gumball machines or meth house explosions.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was like my episode in the heat of the night. I got handcuffed to a bed.
Oh gosh.
Yep. He was trying to
Talk about being in the heat of the
And
night.
Have you ever had like any guys like creepily say that they were really attracted
No.
to that episode?
Not
Good.
yet, but now I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. Because I look like I was 7.
Hey.
Look at that.
All right, so I think we've got
Oh
some
my-
action here. So let me.
Well, this is the ocean.
Well, it's.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's the only place on the map that's got some movement. So
well,
uh,
I know. Here's what I know about this.
okay.
Yeah, you need to stand in front of the green
Oh,
screen.
I'm supposed to stand
Yeah,
up.
hey,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna. Yeah, hang on a second.
Oh, Jesus.
This is how- this is real. Oh, I'm gonna film
Let's
this.
see here if we can. We're gonna do this right. Hopefully.
Oh, this is your time, girl. Oh,
It's your time to
so
shine, girl.
excited for you.
Singing doesn't scare me.
Oh, I like how blurry it
Oh
was.
my gosh.
So there's
Oh,
your
I get like an
lavalier.
actual.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you. Making magic here, folks. We're making magic.
Well, we're making something.
We're making something,
I might get a job offer from this.
right?
You might have to move to Boston if you do a good job.
Yeah.
You could put it like right here on your.
So, how's the
Yeah.
weather in Atlantic City? I'm gonna do the slots. Yo.
I'm gonna record
so
you.
Is the lavalier unmuted?
1 second, I can get that taken care of right
You
now.
look like a weather
There you go.
lady.
Sure freaking do. Are you kidding? Yes.
Wait, like, yeah, I don't know which.
Which side are we on here? Where's my? Okay, so over here. Got it.
Well, I can tell you. Can they hear me? Can you?
Yeah,
hear me?
we can hear you.
Okay, good. I can tell you. I know what this rain is coming from. It's coming from us. Remember yesterday? How did they do this? How do you know which direction your hand's going?
Just think opposite.
This, I know all of this because we had this yesterday. So New Jersey is getting what we had yesterday, and it was probably 75 degrees during the day, you know, a nice beach day. And then this just moved in and immediately dropped the temperature 15 degrees at least. And you're just getting pounded with rain, possibly some hail up in this yellow spot right here.
Oh, let's go around the world.
And now we're up in Canada. Okay, Canada.
What's
and
happening?
Okay, so out in the Atlantic Ocean, there looks
and
like
it's raining.
Yeah.
And looks like there's not even a cloud in the sky out here.
There it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Some spotty showers over here in Dublin. You're maybe getting a sprinkled there. I'm gonna guess it's probably about 45 degrees or so there right now. Yeah, just some spotty showers all over here. You guys are doing pretty well. Let's see.
This is the best.
Wait, even the real weather people don't have to deal with this.
I know.
You're
I'm a terrible producer. I get it. Oh, here's some action.
Whoa.
All right. Oh my goodness.
This is something I have never
This is
seen.
uncharted territory.
You guys, it looks like
Jalalabad?
yeah.
Clouds? Snow?
Where are we?
Jalalabad.
Good question.
Somewhere in Europe, they're getting a little bit of ice.
Yeah, I have no idea. This thing is so slow. Yeah, we're in Russia.
Take us
somewhere.
back to the U.S.
Okay.
Right in the
We're
heart.
taking a quick
I know.
flight.
I know exactly
Oh,
what's
look
going
out.
on.
Oh, look, Honolulu.
Honolulu, you're about to get just some light showers. No big deal.
You're about to get got.
You're about to get some light showers. It'll be okay. Okay.
Now let's bring it back home.
All right. Now, what we've got here, right here in good old Springfield, Missouri, it's going to be clear and warm starting tomorrow, and it's going to be super warm Wednesday and Thursday. Don't make many outdoor plans because we do have a chance of rain and possibly lower temperatures in the 50s. But then let me tell you, if you're ready to Easter egg hunt on Sunday, it's going to be like sunny and 75. So make all the outdoor plans you want.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. See? Now on here, this is incorrect.
What?
There is a chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday. I know that for a fact. Because the KY3 weather app is what you should be using, and it's way more accurate. But as you can tell, we're going to do a big warm up, and Sunday, Easter Sunday, it's going to be prime for Jesus awakening.
There you go. All right.
There you go.
And back over to you. How
Thank
cool,
God.
man. How
Yeah.
cool
I
is
was
that?
recording the whole thing. That was
love it.
amazing.
All right.
Oh my gosh. I'll send that to you. You
Awesome
really
job.
are. You really are good at that.
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes. You should have your own weather channel.
You should.
Contact
What's
my-
funny
my
is when Chelsey
agent.
got here, she saw the studio. She was like, "This is great. I need a studio." That's what you need a studio for. You just figured it out. At home weather reports.
Kind of inspired to start my own podcast, to be honest. After this
Really?
Yeah,
You
this
should
is
be.
awesome.
It's a lot of fun. Especially
I have no idea how anything works, though.
Well, build it and they will come.
That's what I say.
Right?
That's what I say.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the comments. Oops. Uh-oh. I went to the...
Yeah.
That's all right.
That
We'll
was
go.
64. Yeah.
We'll do this and...
Jared, poor Jared.
Yeah.
I know there's like so much room like above your head.
There it is.
There we go. All right.
Woohoo.
We're
So
all
we
out
are-
of time already. Okay, so let me get all this out of the way. I want to go back over to the comments before we wrap things up. With the wrong album thing earlier, Terry said, "Good thing it's not a beauty pageant." Ross did that to me with a Prince tune. I probably should have got to that comment sooner because I don't know what you're
The
talking about.
karaoke where I
I
sang to Fancy without the lyrics, and it was my own face on my face.
Gotcha.
Friends karaoke. That's where I started singing.
Oh, really?
I'm not even kidding. Ross, shout out. Shout
So
out to Ross.
so let me be clear. I'm nowhere nearly as good as a singer as you are, Chelsey, but same for me because I started as a drummer and I went to Dennis's for karaoke, and that's what changed me into becoming a singer instead of a drummer. So can relate. Brian says, love it. Good stuff. I'm glad you do. Glad you do. All right. So we are indeed out of time. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Don't forget that not next Sunday, but the following Sunday, we're doing our live show downstairs at the Riff with DJP. We've got a full all-star lineup of guests that are going to be doing some all-new games. We're going to have some prizes and giveaways. There will not be a live stream that week. So if you want to see the show, you want to see what all shenanigans we get into, and Joshua can attest, we've got some shenanigans.
Got some shenanigans.
Wait, is DJP Danny Phillips?
Yes. Yeah. Yep, same. He was on the show, and he was a great guest.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having him there with us. Oops, I forgot to turn the lavalier off. Hopefully that's not coming through. There we go. All right, so that's what's happening in 2 weeks. Now then, again, don't forget to go to our website, audioroast.com, where you can see all of our merch, playlists, sponsor links, links to past shows and upcoming shows, as well as the sponsors who support us. So that is that. Now then, also, Chelsey James is going to be having a new single come out, The Men and the Boys. Chelsey, where can people see you next? Where can people get your music? Let's hear some more about Chelsey James.
Yeah, so the single is actually already out, but we are releasing the video next month.
My brain is
April
so
20th.
video
No,
oriented.
you're fine.
Sorry.
You're fine. So video comes out April 20th. But you can get all of my music. I mean, Spotify, Apple, Google. I mean, everywhere you can get music, I'm there. So next, I'm getting ready to announce my summer lineup of shows. So just be watching my Facebook page.
Okay.
Chelsey James Music. I'll that's where you can find me on all the socials, and I'll be announcing all of the summer events. I'm super excited for our lineup this year. So
I'm super excited that you're able to get back out and in the swing of things with your music.
It's been a long, hard year.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. And for those of you at home watching and have not heard or seen Chelsey James perform, you're missing out. I'm here to tell you, she is a beast. I love it.
Thank you. We have fun.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. All right. And so we've got Acting for Real with Jonna. So where can people find some more hints and tips and tricks?
Acting for Real is starting to cross brand into Sooner Than Later Studios. And I'm about to release my How to Get a Gig by Jonna Volz, which it's an acting gig. So it's like everybody comes to me and they're like, I think I'm talented. Like, where do I start? And so I just kind of go down, educational, trying to make it fun. And we're just wrapping that up. And then the movie I just directed is almost done. And then the documentary of the making of the movie is almost done. So we're only doing 3 or 4 projects at one time, coming out in the next, hopefully 4 to 6 weeks. So if you go to actingforreal.net will take you to if you click on things, and then Sooner Than Later Studios is stlstudios.net, nothing to do with St. Louis, and that's where you can see the next projects I have going on. As far as acting lessons, I'm doing a lot of private coaching consultations, but yeah,
actingforreal.net. And what was the other one?
stlstudios.net. Yeah.
There we go. Both of those links are in the comments for you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here and spending your time with us. We hope you had a good time. I've sure enjoyed having you. We'll have to have both of you back and play some games and all the fun stuff that also happens here on the show. So thank you so much for your time and your talents as well. It means a lot to have you here. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
So now then, what's that?
That was the next thing.
Oh, weird.
No final thoughts today?
Oh no, we've got some thoughts. Here we go. Let's go back to the drawing board.
All right.
The Reba Pepper Show, hosted by the girl in the family video.
Right.
It's gonna happen now that I've said it out loud and seen next to you.
There you go.
There we are.
Now then, final thoughts. All right. So my final thoughts are this, and I kind of mentioned a little bit about this in the show. So something happened to me personally this week that was kind of an interesting little point of reflection. And this is going to sound so cheesy, but sometimes it's the small things that you take things from. So our car is in the shop this week. It's got transmission stuff going on. It's weird. It's whatever. And we've got a rental car, and it's this is exact same car, just like 4 years newer. And it has Sirius XM satellite in the radio thing. And it was like so cool. I found myself last night after the Dirty Saints show, literally sitting in my parking lot, flipping through all these stations. And I was in there for probably almost 20, 30 minutes, just listening to the radio. And it just gave me that reminder of like, don't forget to slow down and enjoy the journey and the small things. Kind of like what I was saying with, in music, appreciate your band practices and that kind of stuff, not just focused on the show. Same kind of thing. So slow down, take a breath, enjoy life. Spring is in the air. Go out and look at the green trees and the flowers that are coming up, all the good stuff. Live life, man. It's good stuff. Now then, before we hit the final button, I did say that we were going to do a little sing along. So let me see if I can cue that up. And here's the deal: if we get kicked off and go off air, so be it. We've got all the business out of the way. So let me see if I can pull this up.
My mom is watching. I just want to say hi, Mama.
Aw.
Oh, hi, Mama Britton.
Yep, she was on set with me on the fancy video. She's
nice.
my momager.
I wonder what her what was her interpretation of all that. I mean, was she just like proud and?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'll ask her.
All right. Well, we'll wait and see what she has to say.
Okay. Hey, Mama, how'd you feel about being on the set with me as a fancy video set? And that's the question for you.
There you go. But there's another perfect example. Like you've probably had your thoughts and your ideas on your experience there, but you've never thought to. Well, I wonder. Mom was there. I wonder what she thought.
She's just always taking care of me. She's taking care of me and looking out for me.
Yeah, as all good moms do.
Yeah.
Let's see here. See if I can.
The reason.
Oh, hush, guy.
Great show and weather report.
I know.
Yeah, especially that weather report.
So good.
It was terrible, but thank you.
No, it's good stuff.
I'll work on it.
I like how you told the internet it was wrong.
My mama said it was a lot of hard work, and she was really proud of me.
Aw, that's awesome. Shout out to Becky Volz. Good stuff, man.
Well, if it does rain on Wednesday and Thursday, I would like an apology from I don't know who exactly, but somebody.
Well, it'll happen. It will happen. Fair enough. Okay, so let's go back over here to the comments. Brian says, yep, great show and weather report. Fun, Josh and Jonna. Brian says, XM has an app. Oh, but is it a subscription? Because I have so many subscriptions. I need to quit. It's like a bad habit. Julian says, my husband renews my Sirius XM subscription every Christmas. Best gift ever. Music all the time. Yeah, and there's a lot of great music to choose from. So good stuff. All right, now then, before we sign out, we're gonna do a little sing along. And again, we might get cut out. We might not. We'll see.
Like all of us, we're just gonna go.
Or Chelsey take the first.
It all very well. Look back, it was the summer I turned 18. We lived in a one-room rundown shack on the outskirts of New Orleans. We didn't have money for food or rent, to say the least. We were hard pressed. And Mama spent every last penny we had to buy me a dancing dress.
Take it.
Mama washed and combed and curled my hair. She painted my eyes and lips. Stepped into a satin dancing dress. I had to clean the side, clean up. It was red velvet trim and it fit me good. Standing back from the looking glass, there stood a woman where a half-grown kid is stood. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down.
That's what she does, like the rouge.
A little bit of perfume on my neck when she kissed my cheek. And then I saw the tears welling up in her troubled eyes as she started to speak. She looked at her pitiful shack and then she looked at me and took a ragged breath. She said, your paws run off and I'm real sick and the baby's gonna starve to death. Handed me a heart-shaped locket that said to thine own self and true. And I shivered as I watched a roach crawl across the toe of my high heel shoe. sounded like somebody else who was talking, asking, Mama, what do I do? She said,
Just be nice to the gentleman, Fancy. They'll be nice to you.
she said,
Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down.
She said,
Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down.
Oh,
Forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Don't let me down now, your mama's gonna move you uptown.
This is so much fun.
Right?
That was the last time I saw my mom when I left that rickety shack. The welfare people came and took the baby, mama died, and I ain't been back.
But the wheels of fate started to turn, and for me there was no way out. Wasn't very long till I knew exactly what my mama been talking about.
Take it, Josh.
It's all about.
I was gonna be a lady someday, though I didn't know when or how.
But I couldn't see spending the rest of my life with my head hung down in shame.
Everybody.
You know I
Might have been born just plain white trash, but Fancy wasn't my name.
said,
Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down.
Oh,
Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. Yeah.
Wasn't ever longer benevolent man to me in all the streets. 1 week later, I was born as tea in a 5-room hotel suite.
Yes, he was charmed, a king, a congressman, and an occasional aristocrat. And then I got me a Georgia mansion in an elegant New York townhouse flat, and I ain't done bad. Woo!
Getting the phrasing on that part is like the hardest part.
Right?
So many words.
This is the verse they leave out on radio.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
In this world, there's a lot of self-righteous hypocrites that call me bad. Criticize mama for turning me out, no matter how little we had. But though I ain't had to worry about nothing for now, all 15 years.
Good stuff.
Well, I can still hear the desperation in my
Poor mama's voice singing near my ears.
Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down.
Oh,
Forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Well, don't let me down, no, your mama's gonna move you uptown. Oh, and I guess she did.
Here it is.
Oh, there, oh,
and I guess she did.
I jumped the gun. I jumped the shark.
You know, that last
Which
verse
is
I think is the
nice.
best one because it really sums up like
It seals the deal.
that she got out.
Yes,
That's the whole point.
that's you're exactly right. That's the whole point. It's a
That's the one of encouragement. That's like you don't have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good
Chelsey,
stuff.
amazing.
I
amazing.
freaking love that.
You just
That's-
can't
that's the
not
best-
sing to that song.
Right? That's the best ending to a podcast that we have done so far.
Ah.
Let me jump back over here.
I've only been singing that for 30 years.
Why is my? I'm just gonna shut all this off. Shut up, thing.
The words just they
Technology
come back,
and
they come
stuff.
back to you.
All right, now then, we've already got our final thoughts. We're back on track. There we go. All right, so I've already said my final thoughts. So remember, guys, that times are hard for everybody right now. So may your cup of coffee and your love of music be strong, but your sense of humor be even stronger. We'll see you next week right here at 5 o'clock.